side. In the red and blue, as per program from 1-15, the Central Coast Roosters. Central Coast Roosters, the number 19, Brittany Starr, is out, and number 17, Claudia Symington, is playing in jersey number 12.
Hey, Coach Hayne. That was probably a bit better. One of them busted. Yeah, one of them busted yesterday. I had a hole in it, so well, still got it. Hey?
To kick off, please. 5 minutes to kick off.
boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Maitland Sports Ground for this Country Rugby League Ladies League tag game between Newcastle and the Central Coast. This is the Country Championships, Tim, and we should be in for a good day today.
Yeah, look, the weather's not very great at the moment. It's a bit windy, but hopefully the sun's poked through a couple of times and it finds up for us.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, let's run through the two teams today. So I'll start with Newcastle. At fullback, we've got Vida Shaw. On the wings, we've got Nisa Case and Rebecca Jenkins. In the centres, we have Hayley Everly and Jordan Barsley. At 5'8", we have Jessica Cassidy. At halfback and captain, we have Ashley Harvey. In the front row, we have Jordan Sheaves and Brianna Holton. At hooker, we have Shay Ross. In the second row, we have Jessica Murray and Ashley Ward. And locking the scrum, we have Brianna Partland. And the reserves today for the Newcastle team are Hannah Robinson and Alexandra Munro. All right, Tim, you can run through the Central Coast team for me.
Lining up at fullback today is Holly Buchanan. On the wings are Ashley Russell and Rachel Dobby. In the centres are Emily Haynes and Stacey Markham. Lining up at halfback and captain, Stephanie Sharp. And at 5'8" is Sarah Dimich. In the front row are Sarah Higgins and Kristen Keller. At hooker is Tia Goodhead. In the second row is Aaliyah Smith and Claudia Symington. And locking the scrum is Cyan George. And on the bench is Jocelyn Keller and Alyssa Atkins.
So we have the referees out there at the moment. We're just waiting on the two teams to show themselves from the shed as they run out now. The Central Coast team wearing the colours of the Roosters today. As you said, some conditions not ideal. It's fairly windy out there on the ground. The wind probably won't favour any one team. It's blowing across the ground at the moment, but it is a stiff breeze, so we'll see how the girls deal with that today.
Yeah, look, you'll probably see the ball drift towards the grandstand side today a lot, seeing as the breeze blowing that way. It's fairly strong, so it'll be hard for the ball to travel over the other side of the field, especially kicking against the wind.
And here come the Newcastle girls. So Newcastle, the results from last week's games in the Ladies League tag, the Newcastle team had the bye and the Central Coast girls defeated the North Coast 18-6. So we have Newcastle versus Central Coast today. Central Coast will be running right to left on your screen. They won the toss. A bit of controversy in the coin toss, Tim, with a reflip needed, so that's a good start to the day.
Yeah, look, it was a bit funny, it was a bit comical at the time, but the girls got through it and hopefully we'll see a good game of footy here today.
As we're await kick-off now, we're not too far away. Should be a good game today. The Central Coast girls were successful last year. The competition's been going for 3 years now, the Ladies League tag. It's probably a good opportunity to thank the sponsors as well today. So SLE Worldwide are the major sponsors. We've got Bar TV who are streaming this live on Facebook, and we've got Victor Sports as well. So thank you to those guys for coming on board and supporting Country Rugby League as the Ladies League tag is moments away from kicking off. So the referee just looking for confirmation. Looks like the captain will kick off for the Newcastle side. And we're underway here at Maitland Sports Ground. There's the kick. Shallow kick. It nearly finds touch. They do well to keep it in there, the Central Coast. And there's the first tag as they come to the left now. And they look to go centre field. And there's another good tag from Newcastle. There's a run there by Tia Goodhead as they come to the left. And there's a tag. No, they're through. They quick play the ball as they come to the left through the halfback. That's Stephanie Sharp, the captain. They come down to the centre. It's Emily Haynes down the sideline, back inside to the fullback, and a nice tag there. And the referee's found a forward pass. So some enterprising play to start the game, Tim.
Yeah, look, there's a nice early shift there from the Central Coast team. They look very speedy out wide, so they look to take advantage of those abilities.
So Newcastle now look to work it out of their own end, and that's a good tag from the hooker. Tia Goodhead has been involved early on. Turns it back inside. A nice run. Brianna Portland there with the run as they shift to the left. Both teams looking to spread the ball early. That's Brianna Holton with a run as they come to centre field. A nice clean tag there. Another run from one of the front rowers, Jordan Sheaves, as they come to the right, Newcastle, and they kick early. Could be a tactic today with this breeze, and that's a decent kick, finds the grass. Holly Buchanan looking to bring it back now. And a good kick chase from Newcastle. So 30 metres out from their own line as they come down a narrow short side. That's a good tag there by the winger. Nisa Case there, very quick. As they come centre field. There's Taker Settler. There's the captain, a nice short ball. Oh, nice tag. There's a bit of a hole there, closed quickly. That was Jocelyn Kelleher hitting that hole. As they come, another nice tag. These holes are closing quickly on the Central Coast. Kristen Kessler looked through there. As they come to the left, 40 metres out to the fullback. Holly Buchanan with the kick. Finds the grass. The Newcastle winger now. Nisa Case looks to come centre field. As they come to the middle. That's the fullback with Vida Shaw. They come the short side. They've numbered up well the Central Coast. That's a good tag by the captain, Stephanie Sharp. There's a drop ball. That's our first mistake for the day, Tim.
Yeah, look, it was a nice pass out of dummy half. Just maybe took a look at the line before catching it. But they look to be dangerous here, the Central Coast, in the first attacking play.
They come down the short side and they turn it back in. They're 20 metres out, 15 now. That's the captain. Evades one. Stephanie Sharp with the play the ball. As they come to Jocelyn Kelleher, who just takes one towards the post. As they go to the open side. And that's the other front rower, that's Shannon Higgins. Back to the 5'8". Sarah Dimich. As they come left. 10 metres out, putting the pressure on. They've gone through, and they're under the post. Did she get it down? No, it's a great tag. Right on the goal line as they come to the left. Nice long pass out to Sian George. Sian George with the pass through the winger, and it's gone over the sideline. Central Coast going awfully close to opening the scoring.
Look, Newcastle scrambled brilliantly there on their goal line. Two brilliant tags that have saved certain tries.
Well, Kelleher was over under the post. Great diving tag to save the try from Newcastle. It's been all Central Coast at the moment as Newcastle look to work it off their line. Now she's through, she's evaded one. Still can't grab the tag. There it is. It's a nice run there from Hayley Everly, getting Newcastle out of a bit of trouble. There's the first penalty of the game. Newcastle needed that one. That was a good run there by Jordan Sheaves. Newcastle look to find touch. That's a nice kick for touch as well. It takes them up to halfway, so a relieving penalty there for Newcastle.
They'll look to steady the ship here in Newcastle, get through their set and pin the Central Coast down in their own half, I think.
The Central Coast defensive line is very compact. There's a lot of room out on the left here for the Knights. As they take the tap, and that's Nisa Kay. She's been heavily involved early. That's Jordan Sheaves. 40 metres out. They look to go centre field. They shift early. That's the captain. That's Ashley Harvey. As they go left again. That's Brianna Halton. 35 out from the line. They come back to centre field. They come to the right. Ooh, shows and goes. A nice tag from the Central Coast. Jessica Cassidy looking to run the show at 5'8" there. She's been involved this set. They're finding it hard to get the tag off Hayley Everly today. She's very elusive. The 25 out from the line. There's the kick from the 5'8" Cassidy. A nice little kick. The fullback covers up well. Holly Buchanan. Oh, and she's burnt them on the outside. Comes to Sian. That's a good tag. Nisa Case.
Good kick there from Newcastle. They just got a little let down from the kick chase there.
There's the Central Coast looking to work away from their own line. It's a nice short ball, some good hands. She's evaded one, evaded two, she's through. Fullback to beat. Fullback makes the tag. That's a great tag there by Vida Shaw. That was Shannon Higgins going through as they come to the right. Sarah Dimich, nice short ball, and that's a good tag. As they come to the left now, nice run out of dummy half, attracts one. And they will come back for their first tag. Nice run out of dummy half there by Tia Goodhead. This will be the last. Comes to the number 10. It's a nice little kick. The referee's called it back. And that'll be a changeover.
Shannon Higgins is very involved at the moment. A couple of good runs from the front line. He's very dangerous in the middle of the run.
Both teams have definitely had their moments early on. As Newcastle now come to the right. And she bursts through. She's away here. Oh, jumble and the tag. So that was Cassidy again. Heavily involved early, Cassidy. As they come to the left. Nice. That's out the back. Oh, and she's dove on the ball. That was Hayley Everly. A little bit lackadaisy there. She did the job. As they come out to the captain, Harvey. Harvey with a short ball to a front rower, Brianna Halton. As they come to the right. A nice tag. Central Coast with some nice tags early. As they come to the right. That's Harvey. Nice short ball. Sheaves with the tag, with the run. Comes to right, here's Cassidy. Cassidy puts it up high, and that could be a good tactic today. Swirling breeze. When they let it down to Central Coast, Cassidy regains it. And Central Coast get away with one there.
Look, she's definitely the danger player on the field at the moment, Sarah Cassidy. Everything seems to be coming through her to be the goods at the moment for Newcastle.
Ashley Russell with a run there, trying to get Central Coast out. Nice short one, another one in there. Sian George. Oh, that's a better cross from fullback. Oh, a good tag from the fullback. Kristen Pessler just couldn't get away as they come to the right now. That's the 14, that's Kelleher. Nice spin, but there's a good tag from Newcastle. Central Coast back on the attack, 20 metres out. As they come to the right, nice dummy from the 5'8". Sarah Demich goes close. They go the short side. They've got the numbers of Central Coast. And a nice pass, and they're open the corner. Rachel Dobby with the first try of the day for the Central Coast, and they lead 4-0. Kick to come.
Yeah, look, they've been going down the short side a lot. Central Coast paid dividends here, working the short blind side. Newcastle were very lucky not to give away a penalty a couple of times for not being back to 10.
They stripped them for numbers down the short side, 3v2, and they just used the numbers perfectly, the Central Coast. And Dobby goes over in the corner for the first try of the day as the sun pokes its head out for the first time. Be a tough kick here. Right out on the far touchline.
Wind at the back though, should be favourable. They should be kicking in the wind today.
And on the balance of play, it's probably what Central Coast have deserved. They've looked the more dangerous. She's lining up the kick now. Yeah, tough conditions for kickers today. The closer to the post you can score, the better. Taking her time over this one. It's probably brought it back about 18 out, right on the touchline. There's the kick. Yeah, it was on target, just didn't have the distance, unfortunately. So the Central Coast lead 4-0 after 9 minutes. And a good start for the Central Coast girls.
Yeah, it's ebbed and flowed here today with possession. Newcastle look dangerous at times, and I'm sure they'll get their chance.
Newcastle will look to kick deep here and put a bit of pressure on with their defence. Try and get down the other end. They haven't had many opportunities, Newcastle, down the other end. So this is the third season of the league tag team. The girls are looking good out there today. Some nice ball skills out there.
Yeah, look, there's been some sharp service out of dummy half from Shay Ross from the Newcastle team. Very impressed with that. And Jessica Cassidy as well. She's looking the goods for the moment at Newcastle. And I think if they win, she'll have a lot to say in it.
As Newcastle kick off, they kick deep this time. That's a good kick off. Well taken by Buchanan. Looks to bring it off her own line. That's a good evasive run, and so it's 25 out. She's been tagged. So first play, as they come to the left, nice short ball. That's Sharp with the run. They're up around the 40 on the second tackle. It's a good set after points. She throws a dummy, and that's a good tag. Dimich looked to go through. As they go to the right, nice dummy there. Come back centre field. Newcastle not falling for it though as they come to the left. That's Sharp. Sharp looking to pass. She's evaded one, evaded two. Nice offload. That's Smith. And Smith is tagged 10 metres out. Last tackle as the Central Coast come to the right. Through the hands, Sharp. Dimich. Dimich with a kick. Dimich looking to regather again. And she's earned her team another set of 6 here. Line dropout, Newcastle.
Leota Shaw has saved her team twice there in that. A crucial tag, and then she's made a lung buster for 40 metres to cover up that grubber kick. Very well done.
Great set after points for the Central Coast. Newcastle will be forced to defend their own line again. Here's the dropout. That's a nice dropout in these conditions. 40 metres on the fly. Buchanan now. She looks elusive, Buchanan. There's the tag, 25 out. So that's tackle 1, 25 out from the Newcastle line as they come to Sharp. Sharp with the short ball. And that's Kelleher. As the Central Coast come to the right, that's Dimich. Dimich goes through the hole. There's the offload. The referee's called the tag on Dimich. Diving tag, saves another try. Newcastle holding on. They'll come back and play it 10 metres out. As they come the open side. That's the 16 on Atkins. Atkins goes over. Atkins with some nice footwork. That's a great try. She's only just come on the field. And the Central Coast go over again. That's 8-0 with a kick to come.
Nice little in and away there. She put a two-step on and she fooled the fullback via to Shaw. She's been very well tagging today and she's just missed one just on the goal line.
The Central Coast really starting to make this field position and pressure pay off. That's 8-0. Kickers are a much more gettable prospect this time around. She's gone over right next to the posts. Dimich has looked very dangerous for the Central Coast at the 5'8" position. I don't know if you can see from behind, but the trees are blowing a gale out there today. And from what we've heard, it's only going to get worse throughout the day. So, as you said, these kicks from next to the post are gold for either team.
Yeah, look, I think she'll favour chances a lot better than the last kick. But we'll see. The wind's playing a lot of havoc, so I don't think there'll be any easy kicks today, either in front or out wide.
Buchanan lines it up. She moves in. There's the strike. Strikes it well, and the flags are up. Great kick from Buchanan. The score now, Central Coast 10, Newcastle 0. And Newcastle just haven't had any field position, Tim.
No, look, they've missed a couple of easy tags, I'd say, and they've let the Central Coast out of their own half pretty easily. But with the wind blowing that diagonal direction, they might see some more fortune in the second half.
We've got 25-minute halves here today for the Ladies League tag, so we've just gone over halfway. Let's see if Newcastle can get down the other end and mount some possession of their own. Cassidy will look to get us restarted again. Well, they went 100 metres on that set, Tim, and they forced the line drop out, and it came to points for the Central Coast. So let's see if Newcastle can stiffen up in defence. It just shows how windy it is out there, struggling to keep the ball on the tee. Might have to get the old holder out today. Put it on the old boot.
I think we might see that right now.
I used to hate that job. I used to hate holding it. I always felt like my hand was going to get kicked off with the ball. As they kick long, that's Cassidy. Good kick off into the wind, and the Central Coast have put it down. It's gone backwards though. Give Newcastle a chance to push up though. And she's evaded one. That's a great run from the kick-off as they look to spread it early, and there's a good tag. So Newcastle's defence was up there, but just missing a couple of tags at the moment as they come the short side to Central Coast. Just before the 40 as they come to the right. That's Sharp. Nice hands from the Central Coast. There's an offload out the back. Symington will pick it up as they come to the right. Another evaded tag. And another. That's Atkins, the try scorer. They're looking good, the Central Coast, as they come to the left. And that's a good tag there from Newcastle. They really need the ball. Sharp nearly went through. They haven't had the ball for probably 5 minutes, Newcastle. There's the kick from Kessler. It's out to the wing to Dobby. Oh, and it bounced either way. That sits up for Dobby. She could have gone over in the corner as well, Tim.
Yeah, look, Central Coast are running in twos in the middle of the field. That's why they're making so many metres, just the tip on just before the line, whereas Newcastle are going one out. And it's making a lot of difference here.
Well, Newcastle finally get their hands on the ball. Let's see what they can do with it. They'll be looking to get down the other end, obviously, but they'd just like to hold onto it for 5 and get a kick away. As they come the open side, that's Ross with the run, back to centre field, 20 out from her own line, comes to the right, and that's the captain. Ashley Harvey with a run. They come to the right again. It's just one out stuff from the Newcastle at the moment. I'm finding it hard to penetrate the line of the Central Coast defence. There's an early kick. Looking to get that. It's a good kick over the head too. Buchanan misjudged that. She goes back to pick it up. Bit of a staggered line for Newcastle with the chase as Buchanan isn't afraid to pass early. And that's Ashley Russell with the ball. She comes centre field. That's good head with a nice run. Nice pass. Nearly put a centre Markham through there. Good head, short ball to Smith. Good head again. Oh, a nice dummy. And they're through. Oh, and he's called the tag, the ref. That was a lovely dummy from Higgins. Nearly put her front row partner Kessler through a gaping hole. There's an early kick from Dimich. And that's Shaw with the ball now. Here's Newcastle. There's a run from dummy half. Not making a lot of metres, Newcastle. As you said, Tim, Central Coast going in twos and really putting the defensive line at sixes and sevens.
They look to be a bit gasty, Newcastle. 3 plays in and they're still struggling to get behind the play the ball.
Well, they've done a lot of defending, Newcastle, as they come back to the left. That's a nice settling run by the fullback Shaw. This will be the last tackle, 20 metres out from their own line, so they're not making a lot of metres. There's a kick from Harvey. It's a nice take from Buchanan. Tough conditions today. We've said it once, we'll say it 1,000 times, but that's a good take from the fullback. There's the Central Coast now on halfway. That's good head. They come to the left. That's Buchanan. A lot of touches for the fullback. Nice short ball, and that's a good tag. Didn't know she'd been tagged there, Markham. And nice tag from Newcastle. So they come to the right. Nice inside ball, and another good tag. They're holding on for dear life, Newcastle. As they come to the left, Buchanan. Nice short ball. That's George. They're 10 metres out from the line. Last tackle. They come the open side. There's Goodhead. There's Dimich. Dimich with the kick across field and straight down the throat of the Newcastle player. So they survive again, the Knights. And it feels like we haven't been down the other end of the field, Tim.
No, look, they've had a couple of good kicks from Jessica Cassidy, the Newcastle team, but their kick chase has just let them down a bit, and they've made plenty of metres through the middle of the Central Coast team.
I'll tell you what, every time Hayley Everly's run the ball, she's been hard to tag, so I'd be getting her more involved for the Knights as they come to the right through Harvey. Harvey with some footwork, looked to go back inside, but was tagged. They come to the right again. That's out to Cassidy. And another kick from Cassidy. They're just trying to get down the other end, Newcastle. They'd love an error. There goes Russell trying to make some yards down the left touch line. Good head now. George is happy to go one out at the moment. Buchanan. These short balls are killing her knife. She just held that one, Buchanan. Good head. Dimich. Again, just holds it. There's centre field 30 out. There's Kelleher. 25 out from the line. Last tackle as they come to the left through Buchanan. Through the hands to Sharp. Sharp through the hands. Oh, nice dummy. Puts the winger over in the corner. And Ashley Russell goes in. Some great play from Sian George. Lovely dummy to draw the winger. And Russell is over in the corner. Central Coast 14, Newcastle 0 with a kick to come.
Great composure there by Sian George. Through the dummy, stood up the fullback and then dished it off to the winger. It was a great play.
And they just cannot get out of their own end at the moment, Newcastle. Maybe that breeze is playing a bit of a factor. We'll be looking forward to running with it in the second half. Another tough kick here for Buchanan. And that's 14-0, and on the run of play, Tim, you'd have to say it's probably a deserved scoreline for the Central Coast at the moment.
Yeah, look, they're the defending champions, and obviously you can see why. They've got class all over the field. I'm very impressed with Shannon Higgins through the middle, the front rower. She's been brilliant. Couple of early breaks, and the fullback Holly Buchanan, she's been everywhere.
Yeah, she's been heavily involved, Buchanan. Couple of tough kicks for her today, though. One on the right touchline, this one on the left. She lines it up, moves in, strikes it well. Oh, just to the left of the uprights. Unlucky there from Buchanan. So score remains 14-0, and we've got about 3.5 minutes to go until the break. Newcastle will just be hoping for no more points.
Look, Central Coast will be screaming at half time. If it doesn't come, Newcastle will be begging to get in the sheds to regroup here.
They're not in any rush to get this game restarted, Newcastle. As you said, Tim, they'll be looking to get to the sheds, regroup. Bit of a breeze at their back in the second half. Things could turn around quickly. Cassidy will look to get play back underway. Now, another good player for the Central Coast has been heavily involved. Jocelyn Kelleher, the 14. Had a lot of touches around the middle of the park, some nice short balls as well. Their passing's been exceptional today, the Central Coast. As Cassidy gets us underway. Another high kick. It's been put down there by Dobby, but it's gone backwards. And that's nice evasive play from Dobby after the error. And she makes it back to the 25. So come to the left. A nice short ball again. Geez, their short balls have been good. Every time they've thrown one of those, Tim, they look like they're going to go through.
Yeah, they're really taking advantage of this +2 runner inside the ruck area. They're going to the line and just dishing it off, and they've committed the A defender, and the rest of the Newcastle line hasn't pushed up.
There's a nice dummy and an intercept, and Cassidy got it. Cassidy steps back inside. She beats one, can't beat the second. So this could be Newcastle's chance to put some points on the board here just before half time. That's the 14, Robinson. As they come back to the centre of the field. That's Harvey, the captain. Comes to the left to Shaw. And there's a penalty to the Knights. We'll look to take the quick tap there, Harvey, but the referee wouldn't let her. They go early now. Looks to turn a hooker under. As they come to the right, that's Ward. Ward with a good run. They're 15 out from the line. Plenty of tackles up their sleeve. Not long to go till half time. As they come to the right. The hooker goes herself. Oh, nearly through. That's a good tag from the Central Coast. Cassidy in a dummy half. Comes to Harvey. Harvey with a short ball. Oh, and a good tag. 8 metres out from the line. The Knights finally with a bit of field position and some pressure. They've come back to Harvey. They're looking around the post, sniffing around the post. As they come to the right. Back to the left. That's Ross. They play the ball last tackle. There's Harvey. Harvey with a little kick. It's been fumbled. It's Harvey. And I think Harvey may have been tagged. It looks like it. There's a knock on against the Central Coast. So they'll have another chance here, the Knights. Back to the 10. There can't be long left to go in the half. They'd love some points, the Knights. They come to the right. Oh, a nice dummy, but a good tag. Ross looking dangerous out of dummy half. There's the play the ball out the right to Cassidy. Cassidy turns back. Oh, a nice ball play there from the Knights. So they come to the right. Cassidy with the dummy. Cassidy with the short ball to the winger. She's over. She's over in the corner. Newcastle score. That's Nisa Case. Cassidy in the dummy half. Nisa Case with the try, and the Knights hit back right on half time.
Jessica Cassidy, we pointed out earlier, she's looked dangerous. She's gone down the short side and laid on a lovely ball for the winger, and they've gone over. They'll be very happy the Newcastle side are going at this after this point difference.
They look to have the numbers there, Central Coast, but just couldn't get the tag off her in time, and Nisa Case goes over about 5 metres in from the touchline. And that's put Newcastle right back in this game. 14-4 with a kick to come. And after a first half of complete dominance from the Central Coast, you dare say the Newcastle side would be quite happy going into that score, Tim.
Yeah, look, that's probably their first chance down in the red zone, and they've got over the line, so they'd be very happy going in half-time. The coach would give them a talk. I think they'd be saying to get the ball in the hands of Jessica Cassidy as much as possible, and hopefully with the wind going a bit more favourable, they can come back in the second half.
Harvey now lines up this kick. Another tough kick. Out wide. Plenty of wind blowing. He's taking her time over this one. A lot of time. She moves in. Strikes it well. And that's a great kick from Harvey. So as the half-time siren goes, the score here at half-time, Central Coast 14, Newcastle 6. A half dominated by the Central Coast, but Newcastle scoring right on half-time, and that keeps this game nice and close in the second half. They look to be very impressed with the Central Coast team. They haven't really had any errors. They've played all their sets. Newcastle look good. Jessica Cassidy's been a standout, and Violet Shaw at the back, she's been great on defence. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back for the second half.
The canteen is open for business, plenty of hot food, so please make your way up there. And looking down the left-hand side of the grandstand, as you look to the field play, we have our paving provider, Zabara. So I'm going to run up for the day, and see that, and I'm sure everyone will do you a good day.
Welcome back here to Maitland Sports Ground number 1 for this ladies league tag clash between the Central Coast and Newcastle. At half-time, we've got a scoreline of 14-6 in favour of the Central Coast.
Yeah, look, the Roosters have had all the ball, Central Coast. Newcastle would be very happy to go over just before half-time, kind of even things up. They've got the wind at their backs now and be hoping to take advantage of that.
As we wait for the kick-off, we're going to quickly thank our sponsors as well for making this possible. We've got SLE Worldwide, who are the major sponsors, Bar TV, who are streaming this live. If you're watching on Facebook, let us know where you're watching from and who you're cheering for. And also Victor Sports are on board as well. So thank you to those companies for coming on board as the Central Coast get us back underway in this second half. It'll be the first opportunity we get to see if this wind's playing a big factor today, Tim.
Yeah, look, it looks to be. The wind is blowing diagonally across the field. It's you've seen some difficult kicks from both teams into the strong wind, and we should see some advantage from Newcastle.
As Newcastle look to get on the attack early, they would have gone into the sheds with a bit of a confidence booster with that try right on half-time. She's been heavily involved, the captain, Harvey. She's been good today, and a great kick to make it 14-6 just before half-time as Goodhead nearly goes through. She's been good out of dummy half as well today. Looks very sharp as they come to the right. There's Cassidy with an early kick. Kicks and finds space to him. That's a good kick. Let's see if the chase will match. As Buchanan goes back to pick it up. They come out to Dobby. Dobby now looking to make some yards down the wing. That's a great ball from the opposite number, Rebecca Jenkins. She was nearly away there, Dobby, as they come back in field. The Roosters just happy to take that one. Jordan Barsley with the tag. They come down the short side of the Central Coast. Again, some nice short hands, and she's gone through Buchanan. Nice right foot step. Buchanan evades another. Buchanan looking for the corner. Oh, she's beaten Goodhead as well. The fullback comes. Oh, and the pass is at the feet of Dobby. Buchanan did all the hard work, and the final pass goes to ground, and a try bombed. As we have a player down injured in back play. That looked to have happened when Buchanan stepped back inside with that right foot step. Looks to be Ashley Harvey, the captain. The trainers are out with it now. She's in good hands. Bit of concern showing for her. But that was great play from Buchanan, Tim. Just so elusive down this right touchline.
She beat 4 or 5, and just that last pass has let her down. But it was very impressive work. Stepped off both feet, left and right, which is very impressive.
Well, Vida Shaw came across from nowhere. She looked like she was going over herself, Buchanan, and her opposite number, Shaw, came across and just put that extra pressure on, and it caused the loose pass. So trainers here with Harvey. And she's sitting up, so that's a good sign. To be clutching at a leg, maybe. That step back inside was a killer from Buchanan, and she just took off quickly. She's back on her feet now. Little Ginger. A big round of applause for Harvey. She's been very good today, Tim.
Yeah, she's been impressive, the captain. A lot of the players got been through both halves, and they'll certainly feel this loss here in Newcastle.
Should be replaced by Jessica Murray. So it'll be a big loss for the Knights if she doesn't come back. She's been running the show in the middle of the field, Harvey. The Central Coast looking dangerous again early on in the second half. Newcastle have the ball 10 metres out from their own line and they're going to look to work it away. That's Veda Shaw with a run. So they come back towards the post. 15 metres out from their own line. There's another tag on Sian George. 20 metres out now, the Knights, as they come the open side. Goodhead goes back to short side. That's a nice short ball and a good tag. Veda Shaw was nearly through there. A low pass, but well picked up by Cassidy. And there's the early kick. That's a good kick from Cassidy. She's found the ground with every kick today. That's Nisa Case out there on the left-hand touchline, and a good tag from her opposite number, Ashley Russell. Go back the short side. Another good tag. There's a tackle wasted over there. Kelleher with the run. And 40 metres out. Trying to get the halfway. There's the first penalty of the second half, and it goes against the Central Coast. They had possession, incorrect play the ball, so the Knights get a chance to go on the attack team.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see him kick the touch here. Not in this strong wind. They might take the tap as they have.
Everly with a nice run. 40 metres out as they come to the left. That's Sheaves. Quick play of the ball, a good head. Front row partner, Brianna Halton with the run. There's another penalty. Quick tap from Good, or no, the referee calls it back. They take the tap. They come to Partland. Good head out of dummy half. Oh, a wasted tackle there. Partland back towards the post. Ross now to the left. Halton, nice short ball to a front row partner. Another penalty against the Central Coast.
Bit of ill discipline creeping into the Central Coast team. They've given away 3 early penalties in the second half.
As Ross looks to go herself, 5 metres out from the line. Cassidy in the dummy half. They come to the right, turns the front row partner back under, back to right, back to Sheaves. Nice short ball to Partland. They're close here, Newcastle. Scores 14-6 in favour of the Central Coast as they come to Cassidy. Cassidy to Shaw. 10 metres out from the line, a lot of pressure on here from Newcastle as they come back the open side. That's Everly. Ross in a dummy half, comes to Cassidy. Cassidy throws the dummy. That's a good tag in front of the uprights. This will be the last. Ross comes to the left, out of dummy half, nice long ball. Bumps off one, and that's a good tag, and that'll be the last tackle. Newcastle piling under pressure early, Tim.
Yeah, look, they really missed their captain there, Ashley Harvey. Just lacked a bit of creativity on the line, and they struggled with that.
As the Central Coast now look to work it off their own line. That's Markham with a nice run. 15 out from her own line on this close touch line. Nice short ball again. That's Joel once or twice, but another good tag. Good run from Higgins. So Central Coast come back towards the centre. That's good head. Oh, and an error. Sloppy pass from dummy half, and Newcastle take over. They just take a settler towards the post, 30 metres out. Ross calling the shots from dummy half. That's Sheaves with the run. 22 out from the line as they come to the right. The front row partner Halton with a nice run. Inside the 20 now. Ross in the dummy half. Comes to Cassidy. Ooh, just bobbles it a little. Nice step. Nice pass. They've got the numbers here tonight. They're looking to go for the corner. They're over to the corner. Oh, the touch has got his flag up. They've put a foot into touch Newcastle with the try line open.
Unlucky there, the Newcastle team. They used their numbers well. They just ran out of room on that short side, but it was great play from Jessica Cassidy again, drawing the defender.
There's the Central Coast now working it off their own line. Oh, and there's another error. Penalties and handling errors are killing the Central Coast at the moment.
In the first half, they had a perfect record with completing all their sets, the Central Coast, and 3 or 4 early mistakes, which is really pinning them down in their line.
As Newcastle go on the attack. That's Partland, centre field, as they come to the left to Cassidy. She's been everywhere today. Oh, she drops it under and it's been turned over. But a chance goes begging. As the Central Coast look to come off their own line, they're 20 metres out. They go to the left. That's Dimich. Nice short ball. That's George. George is tagged 5 short of halfway as they come to the right now. And just points forward, and there's 2 good tags there. That was Atkins. She's the try scorer from the first half. That's Dimich. Dimich with a kick. He's found the grass. Shaw comes across to pick it up. They missed one. They get to the second attempt. It was Newcastle's turn now to work it off their own line. That was Jenkins with the run as they come the open side. That's Halton. He's been heavily involved, the number 10 today for Newcastle. So they come to the left. Shaw in a dummy half. Nice early kick from Cassidy, and that was a big kick. That was a huge kick. As it dribbles towards the touch and goal. Oh, and it's probably about 5 metres too big, but that's from our own 30, Tim.
That was a very impressive kick, and that's probably the first signs we've seen today that the breeze is going to be a major factor later on in the day.
She was unlucky there, Cassidy. Just a couple of extra bounces. Nice early kick. It gives them a chance to put the pressure on with their defence, though. Central Coast have made a few errors coming out of their own end in this second half. As the Central Coast go to the left. That's Kelleher. Good head out of the dummy half, and that's a good tag. That was Everly. They're coming up inside. There's Atkins. 40 metres out from their own line as they come to the right again. That's Dimich. Dimich with some nice footwork. Dimich beats one. Back inside to Sharp. Sharp beats another. Sharp going, still going. They still can't tag. She's still going, Sharp. Oh, and they found an obstruction. She's running behind one of her own players, and Newcastle let off the hook there. Some good elusive play from the Central Coast.
You'd have to think that she'll kick this for touch a long way. She's shown that she can kick the ball very well, Jessica Cassidy.
Yeah, and she's just found touch. A huge kick again. 35 out from the Central Coast line. It just got over the head of the winger, and it's bounced infield. But it's taken the right bounce for Newcastle. It's 14-6 here still. We've had 11 and a half minutes gone in the second half, so we're coming to the midway point. Newcastle are going to have to start putting some points on the board. They've had some opportunities in the second half, the Newcastle team, as Cassidy's on the ball now. Nice long pass. That's a great tag. She's is through there. She's with the play the ball. Halton comes the short side. That's Shaw. 20 metres out from the line. So they come back centre field. Shaw to Sheaves. Sheaves with a nice short ball. That's Partland. She's been tagged 20 out last tackle. So they come to the right to Cassidy. Cassidy with a little kick in behind. Well covered up out there by Nisa Case. It looks to counter-attack straight away. So no points there, Tim.
No, look, like we said before, they're really lacking the creativity that the halfback brought to them, and they're struggling to create some chances on the goal line of the Roosters.
As the centre goes it through, she's got support, she draws the fullback. That's the big front row. Kristen Kessler. Kessler's looking for the try line. She's got the whip out, and she's under the post. The Central Coast have 90 metres in 3 tackles, and Kessler finishes it off. That makes it 18-6, the kick to come right under the black dot.
Look, Cyan George ran a very good line there. She hit the ball back on the inside, broke through, and then drew the fullback, which was very impressive, and they're under the post.
Kessler showed some good pace to outrun the chasers as well. And that, well, you'd have to say, Tim, against the run of play in this second half, and it's probably put the Central Coast out to a 14-point lead here with roughly 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, look, Newcastle will be very disappointed. They've had all the ball. They've had a few penalties go their way. Very good try against the run of play for the Roosters. Nearly length of the field, and they've done very well against the run of play.
And as you said, Tim, Newcastle just missing their skipper's impact in that red zone. Cassidy's been good, but it's a one-man band in the attacking sense at the moment without a halves partner. As the conversion is successful from Buchanan, so the score now is 20 points to 6 in favour of the Central Coast. Got about 11 minutes to go in this game, so there's still enough time for Newcastle, but they're going to have to get a move on.
The Central Coast Roosters have got Kristen Kessler, converted by...
They're still in no rush to get this game back underway. They're maybe just enjoying the breather, but Not a lot of time left on the clock. They're still in this ball game. They've had a lot of ball down this end. Central Coast have made a few mistakes in the second half. So they'll be hoping as Cassidy kicks off. Kicks long. Bounces awkwardly. Picked up by Kessler. The try scorer. It's always nice for a number 10 to run 40 metres untouched for a try. So they come down the short side. And Sian George, there's not a lot of her, but she's been very good today. Well, that was Emily Haynes, sorry. Back to Haynes. Haynes has lost a tag. So come back to the open side now. That's Kessler. Kessler with the high kick. That breeze is playing a factor. They've let it bounce Newcastle. And Shaw comes in and picks it up well. And she's evaded 1-2 and tackled 40 metres out. So Newcastle come the short side. They have a few numbers, but just take a settler. That was Hamilton. Shaw's been impressive out of dummy half. Ross, sorry, has been impressive out of dummy half today. As Shaw gets into dummy half. That's Partland. 5 metres the other side of halfway. Newcastle with the ball. They come to the right. That's Jessica Murray. Ross goes to Cassidy. Steps one. Kick's been charged down. That's Kessler again. Kessler's away. Cassidy chasing. She might not have the legs this time. The cover defence coming across and Shaw makes the tag. She's been in everything, Kessler. Central Coast, they've gone the wrong way. It's 3v1. She nearly beat the tackle though. Haynes nearly went herself. The Central Coast on the attack. That's Smith. Smith has beat 1-2. Tag 2 metres out from the line. Central Coast on the attack. They could put the game to bed here. Well, there's that wind, Tim. That pass has just been blown off course by a good 5 metres there. The Central Coast back on the attack. They come to the right. There's Buchanan. Buchanan. Can't beat the first one. Good head in at dummy half. Last tackle. They come to Dimich. Dimich with the little grubber. It's been touched by Newcastle. Bit sloppy. The referee's seen a knock on from Newcastle first, I think. Double knock on. So we're going to have a line drop out for Newcastle. 20 points to 6.
Brianna Partland has done very well to get back there. It was a great little grubber kick from the Roosters, and she's unfortunately knocked the ball on, but she saved the team a try.
Under all sorts of pressure here in Newcastle. Just under 8 minutes to go. There's the line drop out from Cassidy. It takes a right turn towards the sideline. Well kept in by the Central Coast. She's been very involved, Haynes, in the second half. Couple of nice little runs. As they come back the open side, Smith through the hands. On a good tag there on her second row partner, Symington. 20 metres out from the line. They come to Buchanan. Buchanan turns it under to Sharp. A nice little run around there. 6 to go. The referee signals 6 more tackles as Buchanan takes the tag. They come the open side to Goodhead. To the captain. The captain nearly goes through. Sharp looking dangerous around the posts. They come to the left. That's Smith. As they go to the left again, there's Dimich. Dimich to Higgins. And that's gone a knock on. So the Central Coast just unable to ice it there. Try there probably would have been game set match, Tim.
Yeah, look, they forced the pass there on the crash ball, but they probably should have gone out the back to the second man and they might have gone over there, but Newcastle will pay tribute to their defence and their line there. They've held.
And they'll get the luxury of the 20-metre tap here because the ball did travel over the touch and goal line. A nice little dummy there from Ross. Nearly went about from her own line. Now up to 35. Ross into dummy half. Some good service from dummy half. There's the front rower, Jordan Sheaves. Up to halfway. We've got to get things going here in Newcastle. 26 down. Takes the tag. Just the other side of halfway. So they come to Sheaves. Sheaves to Halton. Halton with the play the balls. They come the open side to Cassidy. Cassidy with the kick. Yeah, well cleaned up there by the Central Coast. Markham was on the ball. And there's a penalty to the Central Coast. So a relieving penalty for the Central Coast. Got just over 5 minutes left in this one. So kick for touch. And found touch right on halfway. Big thank you again to our sponsors, SLE Worldwide, Bar TV for streaming this one live, and the Victor Sports as well for making these country championships possible. As the Central Coast leading Newcastle 20 points to 6. Around 5 minutes to go in this one, Tim. It's been a good game.
Yeah, it has been very impressed with both teams. The Roosters, the cream, starting to rise to the top here, and I think Newcastle will do very well to hold them out this set.
The Central Coast come to the short side through Dimich. 30 metres out from the line as they come the open side. That's Kelleher. Kelleher with the kick. It's taken a bounce. And the winger just can't regather. Newcastle fall on it, so they survive there, Newcastle. 4.5 to go. 20 points to 6 down. Things have got to happen this set, Tim.
Yeah, look, you'd have to think that if something's going to happen, it'll come through the hands of Jessica Cassidy. She's been one of the most impressive players with the ball for the Newcastle team. And if they're going to score from this far out, she'd have something to do with it.
As the Central Coast give away a penalty there. Looked to be for an actual tackle. As Cassidy kicks for touch, there's this big kick. Finds the line, 45 out from the Central Coast try line. Let's see what Newcastle can put on here. They need points, and they need them fast. There's the tap. Ross into dummy half. So come the open side. There's Murray. Oh, and they've turned it over, Newcastle. Oh, and there goes Higgins. So Higgins has come up with the ball. A big let off for the Central Coast as they make plenty of yards through the middle. That was good head out of dummy half. Nice short ball. There's Sharp. Sharp with some footwork. Sharp with the pass. Kelleher goes close. Into dummy half. Dimich cuts out Buchanan to the winger, and Dobby puts it down. They had the numbers there, the Central Coast. And a nice ball from Markham, and Dobby just couldn't hold on to it. And the Knights survive. Just under 3 minutes to go. 10 metres out from their own line. They'll need the proverbial miracle here, Newcastle. Nice short ball. 20 out from their own line now. As they come to the left. And they put it down. Dimich is on it. So the Central Coast with a chance to post some more points as they come the short side to Kelleher. Kelleher with a spin. Oh, that's a great tag on the try line. Markham looked in for all money, and a diving tag saves the day. As they come to the left, Kelleher, Dimich, nice long ball, Sharp. Sharp looks to go through, and another good tag. Newcastle holding on. As they come to the left, Dimich, she's been involved in everything today. Nice run around back to Dimich, they've got the numbers. Oh, and another good tag. That's 3 in a row, 3 try savers. They come back to Dimich. Dimich to George. George dives to the line. And that looks to be a penalty. Referee not happy with that dive. The Knights do extremely well to hold on there, Tim.
Yeah, look, Vieta Shaw has come up with a try saver in the corner. Then they've seen another one from Brianna Ratlin on the other side of the field. And then another one from the winger as well. They've saved 3 certain tries in the space of 20 seconds there.
There's the Newcastle side with the tap. They're 35 out on the first tackle. They come back to the middle. There's a good run from Nisa Case. Come to the left. He throws the dummy. That's Cassidy again. Tags flying everywhere. Come to the left through Sheaves. Now to Jenkins. Looking to get involved. That's Ross. Ross with a nice run. Comes back centre field, 35 out from the line. Not a lot of tackles left up their sleeve. Comes to Cassidy. Cassidy with the early kick. Kicks to the corner. It's a good kick from Cassidy. Buchanan's there though. And a nice tag out there on the right touch line. That looked to be Rebecca Jenkins out there. This is Central Coast now working it away from their own line. 25 out now. That was Atkins with the run. So they come to the right, that's Dimich. 30 out from their own line, they come right again, that's Sharp. Sharp with the early kick. And it finds touch as well. 35 out from the Newcastle line. That's a good kick from Sharp, just trying to ice this game, Tim.
Yeah, that was great composure there. She's put it out of touch. They're not chasing anything here, the Roosters. They'll get a little breather and that'll probably nearly see the game out.
So the Newcastle side played the ball. They come back to the centre of the field. Nice short ball, and it's been put down. The Central Coast are on the ball again. So they come to the left, that's Atkins. Long pass, and there's that wind again. Just takes that pass offline. A little knock on there from Ashley Russell. Newcastle have the ball back, 45 out, not long to go in this one. Looked for a quick scoot out of dummy half, but well read by the Central Coast defence as they come back centre field. That's Jordan Barsley. Ross comes to the left. That's Rebecca Jenkins. Jenkins is tagged 45 out from the Central Coast line as they come left. That's Sheaves. Sheaves with the up and under. Difficult conditions, and Buchanan takes it well and beats Sheaves with the first attempt. She's been impressive today too, Buchanan at the back.
Yeah, she really has. That was Benji Marshall that's there, standing up the front rower. Went one way and came out the other side.
The Central Coast now making some metres and a couple of evasive moves there from Kelleher. And they put the ball down. Heavily on the ball now. Oh, throws the dummy, beats one. Nice run from Barsley. So they come to the left now. Jenkins, infield. It's tagged 35 out from the line. Ross goes right to Cassidy. There's the full-time sign. This will be the last play. Cassidy with the little grubber. Cassidy picks it up. Cassidy's tagged. And that'll be the end of the game, Tim. A hard-fought game. Central Coast in the end just too good. The final score is Central Coast 20, Newcastle 6, and a good performance from the Central Coast.
Yeah, look, very impressed with the Central Coast. You can see why they won the competition last year. They've got a few standout players, and I'm sure they'll go pretty deep into the competition this year.
And as for the Newcastle girls, well, they absorbed a lot of pressure in the first half. They scored just before half-time, and I think they'll rue that first 10 minutes after half-time where they had all the possession and all the field position and just couldn't get over the line.
Yeah, look, we talked about Newcastle missing their captain going off injured, but we don't pay enough tribute to the rest of the defence on their line. It was very impressive. They held out numerous sets on their lines, and they've come away with the victory today.
Okay, guys, well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with the Under-23s Country Championship game between Newcastle and North Coast. Thank you.
their debut in the country championships and the North Coast. For those who view the program, the Newcastle side, number 7, Tyler Kersey, is out. Number 15, Jed Cooper is in jersey number 7. Number 16, Jason Smith is in jersey number 15. Number 17, Hayden Thompson is now in jersey number 16. And Matthew Heaton is in jersey number 17 as opposed to number 8. And in the North Coast side, number 8, Nick Smith is out. As is number 17, Austin Cooper, and number 19, Blake Rose comes into the field. Just a few minutes away from round 2 fixture. Have a couple of minutes just to remind the key teams out for business with their hot food and drink, and also we need to wake up. It's a bar clothing with the ground today and for the strike. A good girl from Barbara.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Maitland Sports Ground number 1 for this Country Championships Under-23s clash between Newcastle and the North Coast. Run through the teams out on the field, so I'm here with Tim's going to start with the North Coast side.
Lining up at fullback today is Owen Blair. On the wings is Luke Beaumont and Dean Mills. In the centres is Zach Johnson and Dylan Hemsley. Lining up at halfback is Latrell Hampton, and at 5'8" is Michael Hard. The hooker is Mitch Wilbro. The front row is Josh Cockbane. In the second row is Shannon Ellery, Jake Mullen, and locking the scrum is Joe Mackay. The reserves are Logan Glover, Alex Mudd, Toby Huggins, Austin Cooper, Jared Roberts, and Blake Wells.
And obviously one of those boys will be starting in the front row. We're just not too sure yet, so we'll have to confirm the number when he's out there. I'm going to run through the home side. So the Newcastle team, at fullback we have Hayden Mullins. On the wings we have Oscar Muir and Leaf Rhodes. In the centres we have Curtis Langdon and Jake Redmond. At 5'8" we have Boston Smith. At halfback, Cooper. In the front row today for Newcastle we have Hayne Rapardi and Dan Melmouth at hooker. And we have John Kameni. On the bench today for the Newcastle side we have Brandon Wallace, Jason Smith, Hayden Thompson and Matthew Heaton. We shouldn't be too far away from kick-off here at Maitland Sports Ground. The referees are out there already. Let's just run through the results from last week. So in the under-23s, the North Coast had a win over the Central Coast 24-22. So that sees them play the Newcastle side. So they're in winning form, the North Coast.
Yeah, look, be a very interesting game. It's a long bus ride down here to Maitland for the boys. And I'm sure they didn't get on the bus for no reason. They're down here to get the victory, and they were impressive against the Central Coast last week.
And we see the North Coast side out on the field. So this is the Country Championships Under-23s between the North Coast and Newcastle. And we'd like to thank our sponsors. So SLE Worldwide are the major sponsors of these events. We've also got Bar TV, who is streaming live on Facebook. So if you want to get involved on Facebook, let us know where you're watching from and who you're tuning for. And we also have Victor Sports on board as well. So a big thank you to those organisations for supporting Country Rugby League. As the Newcastle team make their way out onto the field. And I'll tell you what, Timmy, for the under-23s, there's some big boys out there.
Yeah, there's certainly some impressive physical specimens out there. There's some big boys, much bigger than us too, and they've still got a lot of time to grow, some of these boys.
Impressive physical specimens, I like that. That's a good description for some of these guys. Although I am big, I am not a physical specimen. So we're not too far away from kickoff here. It looks as though the North Coast will be running right to left on your screen, and they'll be kicking off. And we've already seen in the Ladies League tag, Tim, the conditions, and running right to left seems to be a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, look, you like to think that North Coast would like to take advantage of this wind here. You've seen some impressive touch finders in the women's, kicking them over 50 metres, so I'm sure that the boys can kick it a little further and hopefully they can pin Newcastle down in their own half in the first half.
We should be in for a good one here. A lot of these guys coming from the Newcastle competition playing in teams that are winning regularly, so the North Coast get the game underway, and it's a long, long kick. And it's been put down by the Newcastle side. So the North Coast will have a great opportunity to go on the attack early on here. Has kick been put down by the Newcastle team. Luckily for them, it was in goal, so it'll be a dropout, but North Coast with a great chance to go on the attack early. There's the kick. It's a bit of a wobbly one. Makes its way down to the 40, 45. And this will be run back by Ellen. Met solidly in defence. 3 in the tackle. So come to the right side now, and that's the second rower, Mullen. They're 30 out from the line on the attack early, North Coast. That's the lock, Mackay. 20 out from the line. Really good chance to put some points on early here, North Coast. It'll be a good confidence booster. So they come back to the fullback, Blair. Blair, they've got the numbers. They come down the sideline. That's Blake Wells. Wells to the corner. Wells looks to get it down, does he? Close to getting down there from Blake Wells. And the North Coast team go close early. Still got a couple of tackles up their sleeve, Tim.
That was a great ball and all tackle there from the fullback, Hayden Mullins. Saved the try, dead set certain try there, ball and all, and held them up over the line.
It's the last tackle here for the North Coast, 10 metres out. They come to the right. That's Mitch Hart. Mitch Hart with the kick. Kicks across to the wing. The winger kicks again. That's Dean Mills. And then it'll go over the dead ball line. So North Coast putting some good sets together early on, putting the Newcastle defence under a lot of pressure. But Newcastle will get the luxury of a 7-tackle set here. Good way to start the set there from Rapati. Newcastle now, they go short. And the centre, Curtis Langdon, coming in to help out. 40 out from their own line. Rapati again, 2 touches early on. Bumping off. He's made it to halfway. So come to the right through. That's a flat ball. And picked up by Wells. Wells is collared. He was through there, Wells. The North Coast on the attack again. A couple of early errors from the Newcastle side. There's Beaumont comes back in field. So come right. That's Hemsley. Just looking to take it towards the centre. Some good contact in defence early, Tim.
Oh, look, North Coast have been very impressive. Newcastle, coach Daniel Fitzhenry, West Tigers legend, he'd be tearing his hair out at the moment. They've made a few early mistakes and a couple of coach killers.
As they come back to the level, and the referee's seen a little knock on in there from the play the ball. So the North Coast just unable to turn this pressure into points at the moment. They let Newcastle off the hook. So score's still 0 here. Just over 3 minutes gone, and it's been all North Coast at the moment. Newcastle with a couple of sloppy little errors to start the game. They'll just be looking to get through their set and get to their kick here, Tim.
Yeah, look, only seen a couple of sets at the moment, but the front rower for the Newcastle, Hayden Rapati, has been very impressive. A couple of very strong carries. He looks to be very dangerous in the middle of the park.
I'll tell you who else has looked good. 19 for the North Coast Wells. He's looked very elusive down here on this left touchline. So let's see if he can't get his hands on the ball a bit more. As the Knights work it away from their own line. They come the short side, and that's the 5'8". That's Boston Smith. He's a big boy. Big 5'8". Oh, sorry, that was Josh Hayes. As the Knights bring it back to the centre of the field, and they've put it on the ground again, and the referee's found a penalty. Hand on the ball. So Newcastle will have a chance to relieve some of this pressure. And that touch find has nearly gone backwards with that wind. There's the big second rower, Josh Hayes. Put on his back. Solid tackle. Here's Rapati. Nice run. Trying to get plenty of numbers in the tackle, North Coast. Slowing to play the ball down, and they come back to the centre field. That's Kameni. Up to the 40. They go left. There's Dan Melmouth. He's a big boy, Melmouth. We'll be saying that a fair bit today. There's a couple of lovely physical specimens out there. They come to the left. There's the fullback chiming in. Oh, and they just get hands on him. Mullins looking dangerous. This will be the last tackle. The Knights come back to Hayes. Hayes with the stab kick. It's not come off North Coast. That'll be 6 to go, Tim.
Very lucky at Newcastle. Stabbed the kick in and got the rebound. And this is one of the first tests for the North Coast defence on their try line.
Newcastle come right. That's Smith. Smith with the short ball to Hayes. Hayes plays the ball. They come to the right. There's Smith again. Goes himself. Wrapped up 5 metres out. They come left. Out the back. They go through the hands. There's the halfback, Jed Cooper. 10 metres out from the line. North Coast holding firm at the moment. They come to the right. There's Melmouth. Melmouth taking 3 to bring him down. He's just short of the line. Jack Hayes in at dummy half. Comes to Smith. Smith with a little kick through the centre. That's breaking up from Wells. And he does well to get back in the field of play. No. The Newcastle defence pushing back in and get a line drop out. A good cover work there from Wells.
Great kick chase there from Newcastle. It's paid dividends there. They've got the repeat set. But the winger for the North Coast, Blake Wells, he's done well. He's looked good in attack and he's just proved himself in defence as well.
Well, Curtis Langdon looked like he might get on the end of that kick, but Wells came flying in from his wing. There's the drop out. It's not a bad drop out from Owen Blair, and Newcastle look to get back on the attack through Melmouth. They're 30 metres out from the line. Jed Cooper in a dummy half, goes to Rapati. Got a lot of touches early, Rapati. They do well to slow the play the ball down as they come to the right. There's Cooper. Cooper short ball to Kameni. He's only 15 metres out from the line. Newcastle on the attack. So they come to Smith. Smith, short ball. No, he juggles and holds onto it somehow. Oh, the referee's seen a little knock on there. Smith not happy with the call. And the North Coast hold on well, Tim.
Yeah, look, they've been impressive, North Coast, on the line. They've been very stingent and they've shown up the play here today.
So we'll have a scrum 10 metres out from the North Coast line. Both teams have had chances down on the other team's line, and both defences have come up trumps at the moment. There's just a little bit of niggle in the scrum here. Referee wants to get them set. We don't want anything unusual like a scrum against the feed happening, Tim. As they come to the right. Oh, he's broken through. Comes to the fullback, steps to fullback. He's over the 40, over the 50, 40, 30's got a whip out, this tackle tap, and he's gone over Zach Johnson. Wow, he showed some good footwork and a great turn of acceleration to go through. Beats the fullback and runs 60 metres with the chasers getting close. And he's in under the post.
At the 50, he looked to be gone there, and he's just put the afterburners on and he's kicked clear. Very impressive turn of foot there from the centre.
The Winks of North Coast Rugby League showing a great turn of foot over that final 30 metres. And that'll make the score 4-0. And that came from absolutely nothing, Tim, from that uneventful scrum that we spoke about down on the 10-metre line.
Yeah, he's shown the old in and away, palmed off the defender, and he's been made to pay the other team.
There's no such thing as an easy kick in these conditions, but if you're a kicker, you'd prefer to be kicking from right underneath the black dot today, and this is exactly what Michael Hart would be doing. You wouldn't say that was against the run of play, but when you've got a scrum 10 metres out from your own line, I think the last thing you're thinking about is probably going down the other end and scoring. So he's done well there, Zach Johnson. Showed good footwork and strength to break the line. Showed good footwork to beat the fullback. And as you said, Tim, he looked gone at halfway, but put the afterburners on and broke clear of the defence. Hart will line this one up. Oh, we've got a lefty. Going through his process, taking his time, even though it's smack bang down the centre. There's the kick. The flags are up, so the North Coast lead the Newcastle side 6-0 after 10 minutes. A good start to the game, Tim.
Yeah, look, I've been very impressed with the North Coast. They're ready to play here today. A few of those Newcastle forwards have been very disappointed in their outside backs. They packed out the scrum, didn't realise that after a 90-minute chase back.
And Leaf Rhodes will come in to get us restarted. There's the kick, just holding up in that breeze. And the North Coast now will work it away from their own line with a solid run from their second rower, Shannon Ellen. So come back to the middle of the field, 30 metres out from their own line. That's Joe McKay. And come to the left. That's Dylan Hemsley getting involved. 40 metres out from his own line. Nice scoop from dummy half. Beats one, but he's wrapped up. That's Mitch Wilbo. So come to the left. Josh Cochrane. 40 metres out from the Newcastle line. Last tackle. I'll come back to their Latrell Hampton. Evades one and puts a high ball up. Tough conditions. Well taken there by the winger. That'll be Oscar Muir out there. He did well to take that, Tim.
Under these swirling conditions, he's done very well doing that.
Newcastle now working it away. Just over the 20. Rapati looking for another run. We go the other way. Ooh, good contact in defence there. Two in the tackle, put him on his back. Run out of dummy half. The markers were awake there. Jack Hayes looking to split them, but they were alive to it. So come to the right. That's John Kameni. Trying to get a quick play the ball away. Comes back to Smith. Smith with the kick. Wells comes in off his wing and takes it easily. And gets back to centre field. He's 30 out from his own line, Wells. So they're winning the field position battle at the moment. Wiggins in to help out. That's Dean Mills. They come to the left. That's Mackay. Just about at halfway to the North Coast. They come the short side. Dylan Hensley. Nice offload. That's Latrell Hampton. Stepping. Nice offload again. And the second rower, Mullen, picked up and put down solidly in defence. They come to the right. That's Ellen. Ellen with a great offload. There's the football. They're going for the line. Blair is over. Try to the North Coast. A great offload from Ellen. And Albert Blair, too elusive and gets over the line.
Yeah, North Coast looking very dangerous with their second phase play. Newcastle will surely be looking to wrap the ball up in future sets, but their offloading ability at the moment for the North Coast is just killing the Newcastle team.
Well, that makes the score 10-0 with the kick to come. The North Coast have definitely turned up to play today. Daniel Fitzhenry, the coach for Newcastle, just look of bewilderment on his face. They've been the better team early on the North Coast. They just can't get out of their own end, Newcastle. That breeze might be playing a factor in field position. The kick didn't travel probably as far as what Smith would have liked. It meant that the North Coast could get on the front foot early, and they've gone down the other end and scored. A bit tougher kick this time though, Tim.
Yeah, he's with the breeze though, and he looked very impressive kicking. It was only in front, but I'm sure you will have the distance here. He struck the first one very well.
I don't know about you, but if I was kicking from right in front, I'd be trying to kick it over that back fence every single time. I watch NRL and I see kickers kick from right in front. I'd be trying to kick it over the stadium, I reckon.
Yeah, well, he nearly kicked it over the back fence here today, and hopefully he pings this one out wide. It certainly suits the left footer from this side, so we'll see how he goes.
Going through the process again, taking his time. Tougher kick this time. Struck it well first up. Let's see how he goes second up. His Hart moves in. Strikes it. And the touchies are happy with that one as well. But the North Coast jumped out to a 12-0 lead after 14 minutes. You can't say they haven't deserved it, Tim.
No, like I said before, they've certainly showed up to play the North Coast, and they look very impressive at the moment. Newcastle will just be looking for their time to swing back to them, and hopefully they can get some ball.
We've got a couple of people writing in on Facebook as well. Good luck, Zach and Matt. Let's go Cobras. We are Cardiff. So thanks for watching, Ian. And Bob Walsh is also watching. As soon as Newcastle get us underway. He's carried through to the 25. He's done well there. Nice run first up. That's Mullen over the 30. Quick play the ball. They come to McKay. And the referee's found a penalty in there. Come back to 10. So the North Coast will have another great opportunity here. They'll kick for touch. Hart finds the line 30 out.
A couple of good, strong carries there from the second rowers. Jed Mullen, obviously he's bending the line, and then the next play the ball, they're getting over the advantage line for North Coast, which is certainly paying dividends for them.
And there's that man, Jake Mullen. First up off the tap. They come to Johnson, the first try scorer. Johnson beats one, beats two, carrying to the line. It's 2 metres short. He'll go close again. Nice face ball. That's Mackay. Is Mackay down? Mackay has got it down. The referee's happy. He points to the spot and Mackay goes over. And the North Coast leads 16-0 with a kick to come.
They're rattled here at the moment, Newcastle. Just can't get their hands on the football, and North Coast are making them pay a couple of costly penalties, and they're looking the goods here at the moment, North Coast.
I'll tell you what, we called it in commentary, but that face ball from Mitch Wilbo across the face of the front rower to Mackay put the defence in two minds, and he just had enough strength to get over the line, Tim.
Yeah, he ran a great line. He cut back before he received the pass, and it's just got that little gap for the defenders, and he's burrowed over.
And I don't want to put the commentator's curse on Michael Hart here, but after his last conversion, he should throw this over with his eyes closed.
Yeah, look, the lefties always seem to strike him a bit better, and he's certainly showing that today. He's hitting the ball very sweetly.
16-0, kick to come. They've gone 100 metres in the last two sets. Newcastle just can't get their hands on the ball at the moment.
No, look, I'm very impressed with the right side edge for North Coast. Zach Johnson and Jake Mullen, very impressive. Jake Mullen has taken the ball up very strongly, bending the line with every run, and his teammates are certainly benefiting from that in the next plays.
His Hart looks to move in now. Over the back fence. Come on, buddy. Over the back fence. Strikes it. Nah, it's not going to get over. Flags are up, though. So it's 18-0. And the Newcastle boys look a bit shell-shocked, to be honest. We did see in the ladies' league tag, Tim, that breeze was a factor, though. So Newcastle will just be hoping to keep things close and have that breeze at their back in the second half.
Look, I think they'll just be hoping to get their hands on the ball and complete. If they're not completing the set, they're giving away penalties in defence, and it's being really costly at the moment. So hopefully they can tighten things up and improve on that.
There's the North Coast now working away from their own line. 20 metres out, come back to the left. There's your man again, Tim Mullen. He's been heavily involved early. He's another one of those big boys we spoke about. They come left. There's the try scorer, Mackay. Newcastle getting numbers in the tackle now. They're trying to slowly play the ball down. They come left through Hampton. Hampton with the short ball. That's Cockbane. Again, numbers in the tackle. And they come the short side. Nice hands, a nice hammy. Hampton's through, offload to Wells. Wells checks his run, comes back in field, does well to stay in the field of play. 25 out from the line, last tackle. Hampton in a dunning half. They come to the right, that's Blair. Blair with a huge bomb, that'll come down on it. Tough take for the winger and he can't take it. And he's happy to see it go over the dead ball line. Great kick from Blair.
He's put the old Gary Owen up there, and the winger will be having nightmares about that one. He didn't take it cleanly, but I'm sure he'll be happy to see it go dead, even though he's touched it. He's avoided a try there.
Yeah, he couldn't take it in the fall. It was swirling around. It was a great bomb. So he did the next best thing and just saw it over the dead ball line. And they'll have to defend another set here, Newcastle. There's the line drop out. Shallow one, only gets to the 30. That's Dean Mills out there. He'll take the first tackle. So come to the right side now. That's Zach Johnson. He was the first try scorer today. Wilbo's in at dummy half. They'll come the open side. That's Hart. Turns it back under. That's Ellen. Putting a lot of pressure on here. North Coast 18-0. So come to Hampton. Out to Blair. Blair with the pass to Wells. Wells will go over in the corner. That's another try in North Coast. They've just gone from one side of the field to the other. Outnumbered them. Blair with the double pump. And Wells is over in the corner. 22-0 with a kick to come.
Yeah, holding onto the ball there well, Blair. Just that little indecision, taking the next step towards the line, has sucked the Newcastle defence out, and he's hit the winger with a beautiful ball, putting him over the line.
And the North Coast boys have definitely come here to play today. We're 20 minutes into this game. They're keeping up with the clock at the moment. That's 22-0 with a kick to come. Bit tougher this time. It's on the wrong side for a left footer. But he's been striking him well today hard. I wouldn't put it against him to throw this one over.
Like you said, Dan, it's against his natural side, but the way he's been kicking it, I'd like to have something when you kick it.
And the North Coast can do no wrong at the moment. Newcastle haven't touched the ball for probably 4 sets of 6, maybe even more. And the North Coast just taking advantage of it, and they've jumped out to a 22-0 lead. If anything, the breeze should help him here. Tim is going diagonally across the field into his face nearly. It should help him keep that ball inside that right upright. As he moves into kick in a second. Strikes it well, just to the left of the upright. So that's his first miss of the day. And the score remains North Coast 22s, Newcastle 0.
Yeah, look, the Newcastle middle forwards are looking a bit tight at the moment, but you can't begrudge that against them. They haven't had any ball and they're doing a lot of tackling. North Coast are absolutely steamrolling through the middle at the moment, and hopefully they can turn the tide, Newcastle.
As Newcastle get played back underway. The North Coast are just running hard and straight. Newcastle struggling to deal with it. That was Cockbane. He's 25 out, nearly 30 out from his own line. North Coast appealing for a penalty there. Slow play the ball. Hemsley now. He's trying to play it quickly. So they come back down the short side. That's Luke Beaumont. Beaumont to Wells. Wells just brought down. Nearly was through again there, Wells. So they come to the right. That's Hemsley. Hemsley with the arm free and just can't get the pass away and puts it down. So after about 7 minutes of no possession, Newcastle finally get the ball.
The coach should be happy for him to get down the field here, complete their set and kick it to the corner. Looking for a mistake-free set here from Newcastle.
There's Rapati. Every time he's touched the ball, he's looked good. The problem is they haven't had the ball, Newcastle. So let's see if they can put a couple of tackles together and get to their kick, get down the other end. That's the winger in to help out, Oscar Muir. Slow play the ball. Come to the left. Half back to Cooper, just turns it under. 40 metres out from their own line, Newcastle. They come to the left. Nice flat pass. That's Zach Ansell with the run. 5 metres the other side of halfway. Cooper now with the kick. It's gone up. Done well to take it there, Northwest. Didn't let it bounce. Dylan Hemsley. We found a penalty. Tackled off the ball. So Newcastle with a chance to go on the attack. Hemsley did very well to come across and take that catch. The referee is... There might have been a late tackle on the kicker, I think. So Newcastle take the tap. That's Kameni. He's 25 out from the line. They go to the left. Turns him back under, back towards the markers. That's Zach Ansell. We're inside the red zone now. They come to Cooper. Cooper dummies. Cooper comes out the back to Smith. Smith to the fullback Mullins. Mullins beats one, but is wrapped up well by the halfback, Latrell Hampton. Smith now with the ball. Short to 17. That's Hayden Thompson. Thompson carrying defenders. He's inside the 10 now. Scores 22-0. Newcastle would like to post some points. That's Jack Hayes. He's only a metre out. Hayes, last tackle. Cooper in a dummy half. Out to Smith. Smith with a little kick. That's a good kick from Smith. And they're over the knock there, Newcastle side. Jason Smith, that'll be his first touch for the day. Dives over and scores. A great kick from Smith. And Jason Smith gets on the end of it. And that's a try. 22-4 with a kick to come.
Yeah, it's surprising what you can do when you've got the ball. Newcastle, they got that late penalty in the set and they've made North Coast pay with that. It's a great kick from the 5'8", great composure at the line, and they've got the dividends of the try.
Boston Smith with the kick for Jason Smith. I don't know if they're related. Smith's a pretty common surname, but they were on the same page on that one. And he got there quite easily in the end, did Jason Smith. So Newcastle with a little bit of possession. They get the ball down the North Coast end and they turn it into points. 22-4 with a kick to come. So he lines it up. This is Leaf Rhodes looking down the extras. He strikes it. And the flags are up, so 22-6, Newcastle hit back. Had 26 minutes gone in the first half. And Newcastle will get the ball from the kickoff as well. Blair will look to get us away. The clouds are starting to get a bit dark. We might be in for a little bit of rain soon.
Yeah, look, if it does rain, North Coast will be certainly happy with their 22-6 lead. Newcastle will just be looking to complete this set. They've had a few handling problems this start of the game, and they'll hopefully get through the set and get down the field.
I'll tell you what, if it starts to rain, I'll be happy because we're in this lovely commentary box. As the Newcastle team work it off their own line, they finally posted some points, 22-6. They've had a little bit of ball. That's a good run from the fullback Mullins. He's been elusive today, Mullins. So go down the left. Nice short ball. Up to the 40. Come back centre field. And the referee's found a penalty in the play the ball, I think. That's a coach killer. Newcastle finally starting to get a foothold in the game, and they give away a penalty for playing the ball incorrectly. It just allows North Coast to go back on the attack, relieves the pressure on them. I'll start this set 25 out from the Newcastle line. Newcastle really have to hold on here.
Yeah, look, we talked about it before. So important to complete your set after scoring, and Newcastle have just committed a coach killer, and hopefully their defence holds stingent on the line.
As the North Coast take the hit up through Kobe Hugan. Numbers in the tackle. They slowly play the ball down as they come to the left. Out the back to the... No, they go short to the... Oh, and he's put it down. Nice short ball from Latrell Hampton, and Dylan Hemsley just can't hold on to it. Newcastle do survive, so 22-6. At the moment, they're still in this ball game. So work it out to the 20. That was Leaf Rhodes coming in to help out his forwards. They come the short side. It's Curtis Langdon. The outside back's getting in to help out in this set. So they come back to Smith. Boston Smith with the kick. Straight down to Owen Blair. Good positioning from the North Coast fullback. As Blair looks to run it back. And he's tackled 30 metres out from his own line. Play the ball. Come back to centre field. Winner in again, Dean Mills. So the outside back's really getting in and helping out both teams here. That's a short ball. That's the 16. That's Kobe Hugan. We found a penalty. Dangerous tackle. That's the 18, Jared Roberts. And they'll kick for touch. Fine touch 40 minutes out. So Newcastle's defence will be tested.
Yeah, look, the coach will be tearing his hair out at the moment. A bit of ill discipline is keeping them out of the contest, but if they tighten things up, they can certainly be in it.
They come back centre field. That's Alex Bunt. He's met solidly in defence. Riley Glover's come in at dummy half. That's Jared Roberts. Glover at a dummy half. Well, the marker did well to get hands on him there. Beaumont in a dummy half. They come to the right. That's Hampton. Hampton out the back. That's Hart. Hart with the short ball. That's Hugan. They're 5 metres away. Last tackle. North Coast go to the short side. That's Glover with a little kick in behind. The bounce and the bat back, and he can't keep it in play. Nice little kick there from Glover out of dummy half, but just couldn't get the bounce he wanted.
No, I was very unlucky. The breeze might have had something to do with that, but Newcastle's dodged the bullet there, and they'll look to complete this set and get down the field.
That was Oscar Muir coming in for the tap. So they come left. It's Jason Smith. He's a try scorer for Newcastle. They go short, working their way up to halfway on the Newcastle side. Quick play the ball there as they come to Smith. And another penalty. Oh, the first one was a coach killer, then I don't know what that one is, but that's the second one today. Newcastle not playing the ball correctly.
Yeah, a bit of ill discipline's creeping in, but look, their defence has held solid the last couple of sets, so hopefully they can see out the half and keep the score as it is.
Got just under 8 minutes left in this first half. And Newcastle are just gifting the North Coast chance after chance down their end. Daniel Fitzhenry out there, so he'll be having a word about that in the sheds at half time. As the North Coast go on the attack again. That's Johnson taking the tap. Glover in a dummy half. They'll come to Hugan. He's another big boy. Got plenty of size off the bench, the North Coast team. 15 out from the line. Glover comes left. That's Ellen. They're about 8 metres out right in front of the goalpost, North Coast. 22-6 in front. Nice short ball. That's Roberts. Roberts with the offload. Back to Hart. And Hart's over. The referee likes what he sees. Hart with some good strength, and the referee points to the spot. And that makes the score 26-6 with a kick to come.
Yeah, very impressive there, North Coast. The Knights have been made to play for their discipline, and the fight was over from a nice offload from the 18 as well.
Yeah, Roberts, he did well. He had 2 in the tackle. He got an arm free. He offloaded to Hart, and Hart had enough footwork and strength to muscle his way over the try line. And at 26-6, and I'm willing to say 28-6 because Hart will throw this one over. It's a long way back for the Newcastle side.
We talked about it before as well. Their second phase play, the North Coast, is making Newcastle struggle in defence, and they just can't seem to wrap that ball up. He's a big boy, Roberts, so I'm sure it'll be hard to wrap him up. They need to try and wrap that ball up to stop their offloads.
We've got around 6 minutes left in the first half. 26-6. Looking to make it 28-6. I don't care how strong the breeze is, it's a long way back for the Newcastle team at the moment. Just as you said, Tim, some ill discipline, some penalties when they've had the ball in their hands for incorrect play of the ball, the drop ball from the kickoff, it hasn't helped their cause. As Hart lines this one up. Strikes it, and that is straight over the black dot. So that's 28-6. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. And at the very least, Tim, Newcastle cannot concede another try before half-time.
No, I think they need to tighten up their middle defence, stop those offloads like we said, and hopefully they can, with this breeze in the second half, I don't know if it's a 26-point breeze, but hopefully they can put some tries on the board in the second half.
I'll tell you what, we've reached a peak of 29 viewers on Facebook, Tim, so we're garnering some support. Thanks to Bar TV for streaming this game live as well. It wouldn't be possible without them. SLE Worldwide, who are the major sponsors of this tournament. And we've got Victor Sports on board as well. So thank you to those organisations for coming on board and supporting Country Rugby League. This is the North Coast now from the kick-off. They're up to the 35. Play the ball. There you go, the short side. That's Glover out of dumb out. He's been impressive since he's come on, Glover. Nearly at halfway now. They do well to slow the play the ball down there, the Newcastle boys. That's Roberts. He set up the last try. Nice offload. They come to Hart. Hart with a nice kick. In behind the winger, finds the grass. And they'll be happy to just let that run into touch. That's a great kick from the 5'8".
That's a clinical set there from the North Coast. Completed the set, and they've gone nearly 100 metres with the kick into touch. So the coach would be very happy with that.
Found touch maybe half a metre out from the corner flag, so you can't ask for better than that from the North Coast after points. And now Newcastle will have the task of working away from their own goal line, which they have to do pretty much this whole half. Let's see if they can get through a full set without a penalty for a play the ball. So come back the open side. That was Muir having a run. They come to the right. That's Langdon. Back to centre field. Jason Smith, the try scorer, the lone try scorer for Newcastle at the moment. Scores 28-6 in favour of the North Coast. 3 minutes to go in the first half. That's Hayden Thompson. Just over the 40. Centre field. Oh, hooker's slipped. And he's in a bit of pain. It's a little kick over the top from the fullback. Oh, looked to regather. Couldn't regather, and now the counter attacks on. Home player picks up. And we have the player in a little bit of trouble here, Brandon Wallace. He looked to slip as he went to pick the ball up at dummy half. The trainers are out there with him. His legs did something that no male's legs should have to do.
No, I don't think I could ever picture myself in that position. I'm not sure if he's done a hamstring here or if he's done a groin, but he looks to be in a world of hurt, so hopefully they look after him.
Yeah, he's in good hands. The trainers are out there now with him. He did try to get back up, but straight back down. Trainers still attending to the young man, Brandon Wallace. He's back on his feet, that's a good sign. Very ginger though. That might be the last we see of Wallace today. Looks as though Dylan Hemsley for the North Coast is receiving some treatment on the North Coast bench as well, just to maybe be getting an ankle re-strapped. So both teams with a few injury concerns. So he gets a nice round of applause there, Wallace, as he comes off, and the North Coast get us back underway. Well, there's a penalty against the North Coast. Craig played the ball. There's not long to go till half time here. Newcastle will be looking to get this into touch and put a bit of pressure on before the break. 28-6 down. Smith kicks for touch. Finds the line 30 out. Good opportunity here for Newcastle. So comes centre field through Hayden Thompson. Carrying two defenders with him. Put on his back. He's 22 out from the line. Oh, that's good. Good defending from the North Coast. Matthew Heaton got the proverbial Ward 9 hospital pass. And Alex Bunt has come up out of the line and smashed him. Turned the ball over. That's a great defensive set from the North Coast.
Yeah, that was a bell ringer there. He got exposed from the bad pass, but he's jammed in, absolutely smashed him. That was a great tackle.
I don't think he'd want to be on the end of too many of those passes for the rest of the game, as the North Coast win the scrum. They come back centre field. That's Jared Roberts. 30 metres out from his own line. And come to the left. Newcastle sprinting up in defence. That's a good offload, but they put it down the North Coast. So getting a little bit sloppy towards the end of the first half. Not sure how long left until half time with that stoppage we had. There can't be too long left, and again, Tim, that's a good opportunity for Newcastle to put some pressure on.
Yeah, look, that's their first mistake from an offload, North Coast. I can't see them going away from it, but they look very dangerous doing it. But Newcastle desperately need to get over the try line here before half time.
Oscar Muir will take it up from the scrum. Jed Cooper in a dummy half. That's Hayden Thompson. He's been good since he's come on, Thompson. Plenty of involvement. He's hard to tackle. So they come to the right. Short ball to Matthew Heaton. That was a better delivery for him. 22 out from the line. Jack Hayes comes to the right to Smith. Smith out the back. He does want to hold on to it there, Mullins. 18 out from the line. Chance for Newcastle to put some points on before half time. They come left. That's Jason Smith, the try scorer. He's inside the 10. There's the half-time siren. And that'll be it for the first half, Tim. So a dominant display from the North Coast, who lead the Newcastle side 28-6 at half-time.
Yeah, look, very impressed with the North Coast. They've been rolling over the advantage line very well. Their middle forwards are really digging in and having a go, and the outside backs paying dividends.
All right, guys, we'll be back after this short break for the second half in this country championship game between the North Coast and the Newcastle side.
you, mate.
Welcome back here to Maitland, Maitland Sports Ground for this Country Championships Under-23s clash between North Coast and Newcastle. Currently the North Coast boys are leading Newcastle 28-6 at half-time. And Tim, for big stages of that first half, Newcastle just didn't have the ball.
No, they didn't. They held on to the ball a couple of times and they got over the try line. So I'm sure if they can get that ball security up and keep the penalties down, they can get back into this game. But all in all, North Coast have been very impressive. They've rolled over the advantage line. Their middle forwards have done very well, and they look to continue that.
Well, we've got the North Coast boys back out on the field. They'd be keen as mustard to get this game back underway at 28-6. They're low flying at the moment. The Newcastle boys, well, Daniel Fitzhenry would have had a bit of a job on his hands at half time. Some drop balls, some ill discipline with and without the ball has cost them dearly.
Yeah, we touched on it before, their ill discipline. I'm sure if they tighten things up and they get their hands on the ball, they do look dangerous. I'd have to say that they should look to get the ball in the hands of the fullback, Mullins. He looks very elusive when he's got the ball, and hopefully if they hold on to it, they can get some sweeping plays out the back to him and create those 3-on-2s.
We just await the Newcastle side's entry onto the field of play. It was a pretty disappointing performance in the first half from the Knights. They just couldn't get a hold of the ball, and when they did, they gave away 2 penalties for incorrect play the balls. They dropped the ball from the kick-off as well. So just a couple of little things that went in the second half, Tim. One would be discipline, I suppose.
Yeah, discipline. With the wind at their back, I think they might look to kick early, get a bit of field possession, pin the North Coast around in their own areas and try and force them to stay.
As the Newcastle team make their way back out onto the field, a lot of their plays come through their 5'8" Austin Smith. He's been pretty impressive. He laid on the first try for them, for Jason Smith. So we'll see what the Newcastle team can come up with in the second half. 28-6 down. It's a long road back, but it's not insurmountable.
No, it's not insurmountable. We talked about it before the start of the game that this wind is very favourable for the team running right to left, but we're not sure if it's a 24-point lead, but we'll soon find out.
As the Newcastle team get us underway in this second half, it's kicked down to the fullback, Owen Blair, who's happy to give it off to Jared Roberts. He makes his way up to the 20 mil on the first tackle. So they come out the back and show hands early. And that's a good run from Kobe Hugan. He's been good since he came on, Hugan. Plenty of involvement. So they come the short side. Shannon Ellum. Plenty of numbers in the tackle there for the Knights. The short side again through Glover. That's good marker defence from Newcastle. So they come to the left. Through the hands. That's the lock, Joe McKay. He's a try scorer today. They've made it to halfway, last tackle. Hart kicks. Puts it high up in the air. That Breeze is just holding it up. They've put another kick on it. Wells re-gathers. And that's a penalty.
Off the second kick there, he looked to be offside, but it was the breeze did play a part there, held up in the wind, and we'll certainly see that in the second half.
Smith was harsh. It's a wobbly old kick, but it gets there in the end and finds touch at halfway. So Newcastle, we talk about that long road back. This is an opportunity for them to get back into the game. Langdon with the tap. Jason Smith, Newcastle's try scorer. It's a very slow play, the ball. They come to the left. It's Matthew Heaton. He's on the receiving end of probably the hit of the game so far. They come left again. That's Mullins. We spoke about him just after half time. He looks likely, Mullins. Newcastle play the ball 30 out. Jed Cooper with a nice little run out of dummy half. Just shy of the 20. So they come to the left, Newcastle. That's out the back to Kameni. And off the line. And there's been a drop ball from Kameni in the tackle. Kameni's put it down. His trainer's coming out to give him some attention. A good defence from the North Coast there, Tim.
Yeah, look, they certainly started the second half the way they finished it. very good goal line defence. And he looks to maybe done an Achilles here, which doesn't look good for him.
And once again, the trainers for these tournaments are top-notch, so he's in good hands out there at the moment, Kameni. Might have just got rolled up on. It was good to see Newcastle with some ball early on in the second half, and they're going to need plenty of it if they're going to get back into this game.
Yeah, look, they're going to need to pin them down in this half. They're going to need to force them back here down in the North Coast own area and capitalise on that.
As we see the trainers still attending to Kameni. He's back up on his feet, Kameni, which is a good sign. A lovely show of sportsmanship there from the North Coast boys. A nice round of applause for Kameni as he makes his way to the sidelines. Good opportunity to thank our sponsors as well for the day. Bar TV streaming this live on Facebook, SLE Worldwide, who are the major sponsors of Country Rugby League, and we also have Victor Sports on board as well. So thank you to those organisations for coming on board and supporting Country Rugby League. As the North Coast win the scrum, looked at nice footwork there from the winger. That was Dean Mills coming in to help out. That's Roberts with another run. They're up to the 30 already. And there's a penalty in the play. The ball, hand on the ball. The referee's seen it. So that discipline again, that ill discipline creeping in for the Newcastle side. This will give the North Coast a chance to come out of their own end. Finds touch right on halfway. So North Coast with an opportunity in some field position for the first time in the second half. That's Alex Bunt. Push back in defence. Good defence there from the Newcastle side. They come the open side. He's been heavily involved, Robert, since he's come on. Plenty of runs, plenty of touches. They come to the right. That's Mackay. 35 out from the line. Still tackles up their sleeve as they come to the right. That's an early kick from Hart. And well positioned there by Mullins. He's going to try and outrun the chasers. He beats one, comes back to centre field, and he's tackled about 8 metres out from his own line. And it looks to have been a high shot there on Mullins. It was. So a relieving penalty for the Newcastle side.
Yeah, nice early kick there, North Coast. They looked to pin him down. Didn't get the right result, but they've just let him off the hook there with a high tackle.
It was a decent chase from the North Coast side, but as you said, Tim, the tackle just crept up and gives Smith the chance to relieve the pressure. It's a good kick. Takes them up to their own 30. And Newcastle now look to work the ball up towards halfway. 38 out from their own line. Slow play the ball. That's Jason Smith. That's Matthew Heaton now. He's about a metre short of halfway. So they come to the left. That's Josh Hayes. And he's pushed back to halfway. That's good defence from North Coast. They come to the left through Jed Cooper. Nice dummy. Beats one. Comes back in field. He's brought down 40 out from the line. Newcastle now go to the open side through Smith. Smith steps back towards the traffic. And they're just happy to take the tackle there. Jack Hayes. 30 out. Last tackle. They come to Smith. Smith with a little chip. Mullins coming through. That's well done by Wells. Wells in off his wing again. He's been great on the high. And Blair clears the halfway line. The chase is coming. Blair's got too much pace. Too much pace for Muir, and Blair goes under. What a counter-attack from the North Coast team. Wells comes in to take the kick, offloads to Blair, and that's a try underneath the black dot.
Yeah, another offloaded try there. Failed to wrap up the ball, and Blair's just shown them a clean pair of heels and whizzed off to the try line.
Well, at about the 40, it looked like Muir was going to come across and tackle him, and he's just found another gear, Blair, and he burnt him on the outside. He burnt him that bad, he gave him a cold sore. So that makes the score 32-6 with a kick to come.
Very impressive North Coast. Look, the kick chase wasn't brilliant by Newcastle, and they've been made to pay there, but I'm being very impressed by this North Coast team. They look to just keep rolling through the middle and get the job done here.
And you'd have to say probably play in the first 5 or so minutes in this second half. Newcastle have had a little bit of ball down the other end, and that's probably come against the run of play, that try. So North Coast have done well to ride out the storm, and they've gone down the other end and put points on the board.
This looks to be a certainty 2 points here as well. Hart's been kicking them cleanly today, and certainly look to add the 2 points here.
Still wanting to kick one over the back fence, although the back fence looks a bit further away down this end. And it's into the breeze, so I don't like his chances of that. He's certainly got his process sorted out, Hart. Doesn't matter where he's kicking from. He moves in, strikes it, and the flags are up. Not over the back fence though. So that makes the score 34-6 early in this second half. The North Coast side may have just put to bed any chance of that comeback was about Tim.
Yeah, look, they've been made to pay again, Newcastle. They've been a very disciplined team here, North Coast. You look to see them get through their set here safely and kick downfield, and it's certainly paying dividends.
As Newcastle get things back underway. High kick-off. Comes down to Blair. Blair just happy to dish it off to Roberts. He loves it in there, Roberts. Loves getting his hands on the ball. Plenty of work. Come back to the middle of the field. Shane Ellum now up to the 30. Glover in at dummy half. Come to the left. It's Joe McKay. He's a try scorer today. He's been very good, McKay, the lock. They come to the left. Glover with the dummy and nearly goes through. Smith got him just. They're appealing for a knock on. Now Hart kicks, that's Hampton, sorry, kicks early, and he's kicked it out on the full. So an opportunity for Newcastle now to get some field position. Cool, we reached our peak of 29 again, Tim, there for a second. We've had a few people chatting in the comments section of Facebook, so hi to those guys that are in there. If you're watching the game, let us know where you're watching from and who you're cheering for, and we'll give you a bit of a shout out later on. There's Newcastle 40 metres out, they come to the left. That's Jed Cooper. Taking 35 out from the line. Hayes in a dummy half. They come to the left. He shows under, he goes himself. That's a nice run from Hayes up to the 20. Carrying defenders with him. Cooper with the ball now. Cooper out the back to Smith. Smith with some footwork. They're inside the 20. The Newcastle team looking to put some points on the board. They come right through Cooper. Cooper just holds the pass back. It's the last tackle, 12 metres out. They come to the left. Smith now. Smith looks to kick. A nice little kick in behind Blair with the knockdown. Mullins recovers. Mullins scores. Mullins is in under the post. Blair couldn't handle it. Spilled his lollies and Mullins goes in under the post. So Newcastle hit back. 34-10 with a kick to come.
You'd have to feel for the North Coast fullback there. Blair got the wicked bounce, tipped it up, and Mullins has just followed through and picked it up right under the black dot. But well deserved there from the Newcastle team. Look, they've got their hands on the ball, and they certainly showed when they get their hands on the ball, they can score a try. They just have to keep hold of possession.
That's a couple of tries today for the Newcastle team off kicks. Boston Smith with a flip side. I'm not sure Blair knew a lot about it. He just sort of stuck an arm out, and he tried to flick it up to himself, I think, but it's ended up in the arms of Mullins, and Mullins goes over. So 34-10. Should be 34-12. There's daylight for the Newcastle side. As Rhodes moves in, adds the extras. So that's 34-12, the North Coast over Newcastle. It's a long way back for the Newcastle team, but that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, like I said before, when they get their hands on the ball down in that red zone, they do look dangerous. Boston Smith has looked dangerous. That's another try off his kicks. If they are going to be able to come back, it's going to have to come through him and the fullback Mullins.
As Blair looks to get us back underway. Kicks long and flat. It's a good kickoff. And the Newcastle team have made an error from the kickoff again. So just when they look to be building a bit of momentum, Newcastle, another error from the kickoff.
Yeah, they did that at the start of the game, off the first kickoff. And look, we've just put the commentator's curse on Mullins, the fullback. He spilled his lollies there in goals, and hopefully they don't get made to pay for that mistake.
Smith's going to kick this one out. Doesn't strike at his best. Dribbles its way towards the 16 for North Coast, which is Hugan. They come back infield through Hart. Nice short ball to Ellum. Ellum carrying defenders to the 10-metre line. They're close here, North Coast. Glover in a dummy half. Come back to Hart. Hart out to Johnson. He's already scored one today. That's good defence from Newcastle on their line. North Coast come back to Hart. Hart just happy to dish it off to Ellum. 10 metres out. Couple of tackles up their sleeve, North Coast. They come to the left. That's Hampton. Hampton throws the dummy. Hampton goes himself, beats one. Carrying defenders with him to the top. Try line. Can he get it down? No, he cannot. Hampton held up over the goal line. He'd be made to play at 10 metres out. Good defence from the Newcastle team. This will be the last tackle. They come to Hart. Hart with a little kick, and that's a great take. Great slips catch there from Zach Hanson. I'm not sure he knew much about it, Tim, but he held on to it.
He did very well there, because if that kick goes through, they go over there, the North Coast, so he's done very well the second row.
As they look to work it away now. It's probably saved them a try. Hayes out of dummy half. That's a good run from Hayes. Gets the arm free. The offload doesn't stick though. And Hart's there to clean up the ball for the North Coast. He gets his own offload away to Blair. Blair steps back inside. He's very elusive, Blair. Just couldn't make the offload stick. The Newcastle team. Here's Hugan again. Drops it on the ground, and that's good desperation there from Jason Smith. His team's under all sorts of pressure, and he just throws himself at the loose ball. Hayes now up to the 40. Cooper in a dummy half. They go through Smith. Out to Curtis Langdon. Langdon's tackled about 8 shy of halfway. So they come to the right. That's Matthew Heaton. Heaton gets up over the halfway. He's in a dummy half. They go to Smith. Smith with the ball. Comes out to the winger. That's Leaf Rhodes. It's the last tackle for Newcastle. 40 out. Comes to Hayes. Hayes can't get a kick on it. A big swing, no ding. Looked like he was trying to kick that to the moon.
Yeah, great pressure there from the winger Blake Wells. He's forced a mistake. He took a bit of time there trying to kick the ball, and the wingers made him pay dividends for that.
Just had a response on Facebook. We've actually topped our viewers for the day. We're up to 34, so that's a good sign, Tim. Tom Payne, can I get a shout out? Dan Melmouth, only West Walls boy out there. Here's a gun. There you go, Tommy boy. There's a big shout out for Dan Melmouth. He's been good today, Tim.
Yeah, look, he's just come back on for his second stint. He was very impressive in the first half. Some good, strong carries, and hopefully they can hold on the ball a bit longer, and he can have a few more big ones.
The North Coast now, at 5 on the other side way. They come through to Ellum. Ellum will take the tackle, 40 out. Oh, and a little error in the play ball from Ellum. He's appealing to the referee. He doesn't really know what's happened, but the referee's seen a little error there in the play the ball, so the Knights hang tough. They get the ball back 12 shy of halfway. Much closer performance in the second half, Tim.
Yeah, they're going very well at the moment, Newcastle. They've tied a few things up. Creatively, they might need a bit more to bridge this gap, but they've certainly been competitive in the second half.
As they win the scrum feed, Hayes takes it from the back of the scrum. Met solidly in defence. Cooper in a dummy half. Here's Rapati. He was good in his first stint too, Tim. Plenty of touches early on. And then they didn't see the ball for a while, so he couldn't really make an impact on the game. The Newcastle work at 38 out from the North Coast line. That was Austin Cooper. Sorry, Hayden Thompson. Hayes in the dummy half. Rapati again. Nice short ball. There's our man Dan Melmouth. Shout out for Tom Payne. They come to the left. There's Hayes. Hayes shows. That's tackle on the last. A disappointing end to a promising set there for Newcastle. Not a bad place to give it back to them though, Tim.
Oh, that's 2 in a row there from the Newcastle side, not completing their sets, not getting to their kick. And I'm sure the coach will be disappointed, but they've certainly been competitive in this second half, and hopefully they can get some icing on the cake for themselves.
This is the North Coast now, coming off their own line. Oh, big dummy from the, I think it's the winger. Winger's allowed to throw dummies, I'm sure.
Look, I don't think it would fool many people, but I'm sure he can go for it if he wants to.
The old dummy to no one. As Mackay takes another run. Yeah, too slow in the play ball there, Newcastle. Wouldn't let him up. Mackay draws the penalty. It's 34-12, North Coast over Newcastle. Been going for about 18 minutes in this second half. His Hart kicks the ball and it nearly gets up Idlos. Ooh, and it absolutely cleans up some bloke, and he's done well to hold on to his beer. Well done, mate. Takes the tap, Zach Johnson. He's a try scorer today. Scored the first. Come to the left. That's Allen. Not sure many people were riding for first try scorer today, Tim. Zach Johnson. So they come to the right. Jake Mullen. He was very good in the first half, and this is his second stint as well.
Yeah, look, I don't think you could really think he was that impressive. Bent the line with every run, and I'm sure the coach just wants a little more of what he's done in the first half.
So shift the ball wide to the left. Luke Beaumont will take the tackle out there. Blair in a dummy half. Comes back to Hampton. That's Hoogan. Looks to swap sides of the field. Play the ball 20 out. They come to the left. There's Hampton. Hampton with a little kick in behind. The winger reads it well. There's plenty of numbers there in defence. He does well to stay in the field of play there. Leaf Rhodes, he's done very well. There's Newcastle through. Dan Melmouth works his way back up to just over the 10-metre line. There's one of the wingers who've come in for a run. That'll be Oscar Muir. Getting plenty of help from their outside backs of the Newcastle team. There's Cooper. He shifted to the left. That's a good strong run from the 17. That's Hayden Thompson. Up to halfway. Still not tackled Thompson. Still going. Looking for a quick play of the ball. Jake Redmond now. Up over the 40. This will be the last tackle. Slow play the ball. Comes to Cooper. Cooper puts it up in the air. And it's been dropped by the winger. Luke Beaumont. He's done well to recover. We want another shout out for old Dan Melmouth. He's a pretty popular player in these parts. That's from Nick Arthur. So there you go, Nick. Big shout out to Dan Melmouth. I can't really read what you actually said, but we'll give you the shout out nonetheless. So come to the right. Oh, bumps one off. That was Melmouth in there. That's Ellen. He's done a lot of work today as well, Tim. There's Ellen.
Yeah, the captain. He's put in a real captain's knock. He hasn't had a break yet, and he's certainly looking good.
As they split it up the middle, that's Mitch Wildo. Offloads to Blair, and Blair is under. Under the black dot. He's over for the try. And that was a great run by Mitch Wilbo. Split them straight up the middle. the gap as big as Sydney heads, and like any good fullback, Owen Blair was there backing up for one of the easier tries he'll ever score.
That's his hat-trick today, Owen Blair. Very impressive. He's backed up all day, and the hookers just split him like the Sydney Harbour heads and gone through him. He looks very impressive, the hooker. He's just come on for his stint, and he looks very good at the moment.
And a big shout out to Michelle Chan, who's watching, tuning in. We've gone up to 41. So we're definitely making inroads in the social media space, just as the North Coast are making inroads through the Newcastle defence. That makes it 38-12 with a kick to come. And it has to be said, Tim, it's a deserved lead. They've been dominant for a lot of this game, the North Coast.
Yeah, I think the North Coast forwards can take a good pat on the back here. They've rolled through the Newcastle team pretty easily, and their backs have paid dividends. As you see, the hooker splitting them up the middle just then. I'm sure there'll be more to come as the Newcastle team tires.
We've got a new kicker. This is Dean Mills with the kick. They've sacked our mate Hart. Mills throws it over. And that makes the score 40-12 in favour of the North Coast. Just over 22 minutes gone.
Number 3 to Newcastle Silver, Owen Blair, which was converted by number 5, Dean Mills.
Well, it's 2 tries apiece in the second half, Tim, so it's going to closely run thing in the second half, but whenever it looks like Newcastle are starting to get back into the game, we'll just find another gear. There's Newcastle kick off. Goes down to Blair, the hat-trick hero. And that's Hoogan again. The forwards for the North Coast just love taking the ball up and love getting involved. We've been asked to refer to Dan Melmouth as the meat eater for the rest of the game, so we'll see how we go with that one. Meat eater. Meat eater. We'll give it a go, boys, as they come to the right, the North Coast. Jake Mullen with the run. They're up to the 40. They come to the right. That's Glover. Glover with the cutout pass. Finds his winger, Dean Mills. Wilbo goes down the short side, catches him napping, fakes the kick, there's the centre, back inside, the ball's been put on the deck, and Hazel dive, that's Newcastle. Some good play from Wilbo. Jeez, he's been impressive since he's come back on.
Yeah, he's looked very sharp in the ruck. He's just caught him napping on the blind side there, and they've nearly gone over. The centre there looked very impressive in the first half, breaking the line, and he's nearly grabbed another try for his team there.
Getting plenty of social media interaction from our fans out there, all 38 of them. As Newcastle now look to work it away. Let's see if the meter eater can get on the end of one of these. That's Rapati. Rapati bumping 1, 2, 3. They've got 4 in the tackle now. They come to the right through Hayes to Smith. Here's the meter eater. And he's met solidly in defence. Good tackle there from Josh Cockbain. Newcastle a little bit scrappy here at the moment. They're just lacking a bit of direction. Just need to go forward as Hayes now goes to the right. That's Curtis Langdon with the pass. Leaf Rhodes beats one, puts the kick in. Blair's there. Does well to pick it up. And he beats Rhodes on the outside. And he's tackled well by Zach Ansell. So Blair does well there. Wells now going for a run. Coming back centre field. He's nearly up to the 30. So drop it backwards and still play on here for the North Coast. Newcastle still showing up for the fight, Tim.
Yeah, they are. They just seem to be a bit tired. I think the lot of tackling they did in the first half is going to start to take its toll. But they're certainly staying in the contest with a bit of heart here.
So come down the right. It's a good kick from Wilbo. There's good kick pressure from the 17, Hayden Thompson. He just got the kick away, Wilbo. Mullins cleans up at the back. So they come centre field, the Newcastle team. He's done a lot of work today, the winger, Oscar Muir. coming in, helping out his forwards. He's been very good. They go through Smith. Smith now to Zach Ansell. He's up to the 30. Play the ball. Hayes goes for a run. It's good marker defence there from North Coast. Chews up a tackle. Still on the 30 now. Cooper in a dummy half. Out to Smith. Smith with some nice footwork. He's tackled by Wilbo. Looks to maybe have hurt himself a little bit here, Smith. Trainers come on. Let's take this opportunity, Tim, to thank our sponsors again. We've got SLE Worldwide on board as the major sponsor. We've also got Bar TV, who are streaming this live through Facebook, so we've had a fair bit of Facebook interaction in this second half. Keep those comments coming, guys. And we've also got Victor Sports on board as well, so thank you very much to Victor Sports, Bar TV and SLE Worldwide for the support of Country Rugby League, as for a second there we ticked over to 50 viewers, Tim.
Yeah, we just got our half century, mate. It's a good feeling, and hopefully more people tune in. This has been a good quality game of rugby league today in the 23s, and a good quality game in the girls game before.
Yeah, just to recap, the ladies league tag, the Central Coast team defeated the Newcastle team. That was a very high quality game of ladies league tag. The Central Coast team were probably just a bit too good in the end, and today here we've got the Newcastle team trailing the North Coast team by 4 points. So we've seen some pretty good footy today, Tim, especially in that ladies league tag game. Some good short passing, some good ball skills.
Yeah, look, the Central Coast team really surprised me. They were a top quality unit. They played well. Their fullback was a standout, and I can certainly see them going on to certainly bigger things. They won it last year, and I'm sure they've got the same thing in mind. And today with North Coast, I'm sure their bus ride home will be a very happy one, as they've rolled over the Newcastle team very well.
Smith's back to his feet here, which is a very good sign. He's going to play on, which is good too. So he'll play the ball about 40 out from his own line. Comes back to Cooper. Cooper with the kick. Kicks straight down to Wells, and Wells does well to take that on the full, and he brings it back with some pace. He's back up over the 40. And takes the tackle there on the 40-metre line. It's North Coast now. That's Hemsley who's back out there. Ankle re-strapped, good go. So it comes to the left. That's Hugan. He's had a very long stint, Tim.
Yeah, he's been very impressive, Hugan, off the bench. Strong ball carrier, couple of offloads in there, and I'm sure he'll be knocking on the door for a starting spot in the weeks to come.
That's Cockbane taking it forward, and the meter eaters in there to meet him. As they shift to the left, and the ball's just found the touchline. It's unlucky from the North Coast. We're also asked to send a shout out to Jack Beagley from Westie. He was in the starting lineup in the number 8 for Newcastle today. Unfortunately, tore his hamstring at Thursday at training, so that's disappointing for him. He'd much rather be out there today than nursing a torn hamstring.
Yeah, look, I'm sure the cold weather had a part to play in that, but quick recovery to you, mate, and hopefully you're back in the team in weeks to come.
Referee not happy with that scrum for some reason, so we're going to repack it now. Just on 10 minutes to go in this game. The score's 40 points to 12 in favour of the North Coast. Let's see if Newcastle can mount some sort of mini comeback here. They haven't been down the end, their North Coast end very much in this second half. There's that man again, Oscar Muir. Can't say he hasn't done a lot of work today. This is Hayden Thompson. He's had a bit of success out on this left edge, Thompson. Hayes in a dummy half. Short ball. That's Josh Hayes. We've got Jack Hayes at dummy half and Josh Hayes in the second row. Jed Cooper just happy to hold that pass back. He did well there. He probably would have been a forward pass. 5 metres the other side of halfway. Smith now with the ball. Smith with the dummy. Smith through. Smith is on Mullins looming up. Smith goes himself. That's a great tackle by Blaine. Offload by Smith. Comes to Hayes. Hayes looks to Rapati to Cooper. Cooper with the kick. Blair's there. Blair does very well under pressure. Gets it back into the field of play.
He's kicked there for himself there, Cooper, but I'm pretty sure he's bombed the try. If he had it gone through the hands, they had him short for numbers, so they've dodged the bullet there, North Coast.
Some great play from Smith as the North Coast shift early. They've got some numbers. It comes out to Wells. Wells now puts on the afterburners. The meter eater's after him. Wells beats him. Mullins comes across. Wells steps inside of the meter eater with a great chase. Then Melbourne. They come to the right now. Quick play the ball. They're looking to score here again, the North Coast. That's the big man, Jared Roberts. Quick play the ball again. That's Wilbo. Wilbo will look to go himself. Wilbo goes close. He's 2 metres short of the line. Last tackle. Trying to play the ball. Roberts in the dummy half. Comes out to Glover. Glover back to Hampton, and Hampton with the error. So some exciting stuff, Tim, end to end.
Look, that was a superb chase from the front rower, the meter eater, Dan Melmouth. Very inspirational from the front rower to run down the winger like that. And hopefully they can draw on that in the weeks to come, Newcastle.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't say he ran him down, Tim. Mullins came across and just did enough to slow him up. Melmouth never gave up on the chase. And he was there to make that tackle after Mullins had slowed him down. So that's a big effort from the front row. Well done, Dan Melmouth. As Newcastle now look to play the ball about 10 metres out from their own line. Rapati with the run. And the nice party back to Hayes. And Hayes takes the tackle just the other side of his 20. Rapati again with the run. He loves the work, Rapati. He's got his arms and legs going everywhere, Rapati, when he runs. He looks like a tough man to tackle. So come to the right, Smith. Smith shows it to Melmouth, holds on to it. He's up over the 40 now, Smith. Hayes now throws the dummy to Melmouth again. They're using him as a bit of a decoy, the old meter eater. Hayes is up over halfway. He will be slow to his feet as well. Smith with the kick now. And it looks like it has. It's gone out on the full. I think he's claiming that it was touched. The referee doesn't think so. So the North Coast team will get the ball about 5 minutes shy of halfway as Hayes is still down. He looks like he's grabbing the back of his head. Maybe a chance here for the players to get a bit of a breath as Hayes is getting a little bit of treatment. The last 5 minutes seems some end-to-end stuff from both teams.
It has been. Touching on Rapati, I'd like to see him, he's been very good in the middle, but I'd love to see him get the ball maybe 1 or 2 off the ruck. Very hard to handle, and if they could get him that space, I think he'd be very hard to tackle one-on-one.
About 6 minutes to go here. So the tries have dried up, but both teams still giving it their all. As the North Coast make it up to halfway on tackle 1. Wilbo in a dummy half. Comes to Roberts. Roberts out the back to Glover. Glover to our man Blair. Hat-trick hero today. And some good clean-up work as a fullback as well. Glover now, short ball. That's Hoogan, who was met very solidly in defence. Wilbo comes to the right. That's Jake Mullen. Mullen with the offload. Comes out to Zach Johnson. Johnson fends one away. Carries another one. Carries another 2. Still going, Johnson up to the 20. Wilbo comes to the left. Through Glover. Glover out to Hampton. Hampton to Hemsley. Hemsley shifts it. It comes out to the winger, Luke Beaumont. And Luke Beaumont's going to go over the corner. Just using the numbers, using the hands. And they just had too many out there for the Newcastle team, and Beaumont crosses over in the corner. 44-12 with a kick to come.
Yeah, that try there was set up by Hampton and Glover. They spaced themselves well. They really stretched the field with those nice long crisp passes, and then have caught Newcastle napping out wide.
Just as I say, the tries have dried up. The North Coast team go over for another one. 44-12 with a kick to come. I'm not sure that the margin of the scoreline, Tim, reflects the actual game. I don't think Newcastle have been that much worse than the North Coast team.
No, look, North Coast has been very clinical. The chances they've had, they've made Newcastle pay for them. Newcastle have been a little sloppy at times, giving away penalties, drop balls, and they just haven't taken their chances as North Coast have.
And it looks like Dean Mills is going to attempt this kick as well. I think they've given our mate Michael Hart, the left-footed goal kicker, a bit of a break. One of the tougher kicks for the day. Although we've got another lefty here in Mills. He's hugged right up against the far touchline. Wrong side for the left footer, so it'll be a decent kick if he can throw this one over. Lines it up. Moves in. Strikes it well. It's on its way. The touchies aren't happy with it though, so the score remains 44-12. North Coast over Newcastle. And we should just about be inside the last 5 minutes, Tim. We've seen, as you said before, 2 pretty good games of footy.
Yeah, been very impressed here today. The quality's been high. All 4 teams that have showed up today have put in a great contest, and they should hold their heads high.
And Newcastle will look to get things back underway. 44-12 down, but as we said, the margin of the scoreline probably doesn't reflect the 2 teams' abilities. Newcastle have been quite good today as well. They just haven't been able to take those chances. As it goes down to Blair, that's Roberts. He looks like a tough man to tackle as well, Roberts, one of those physical specimens we spoke about earlier. Comes to the right through Hoogan. I don't think he's had a break, Tim. He's come on in the first half, Hoogan, and he hasn't come off.
No, there's been some notable mentions in the forwards for the North Coast. Hoogan, Roberts, he's carried the ball extremely strongly today. He's been outstanding, bending the line with every run, and Jared Mullen as well in the second row.
Speak of the devil, Roberts with another touch. He's up to just shy of the 40. Slow play the ball. As they come to the right, that's Glover. Glover with the cutout pass, well read in defence, but Johnson shrugs one off, shrugs 2 off. He's a tough man to tackle, Johnson. 5 metres over the other side of halfway. Last tackle. You go down the short side through Wilbo. Wilbo with the kick, looking for the touch line. Mullins comes across and cleans it up. Mullins looking, evades Glover. Evades Wilbo. Oh, good run from Mullins. He's done well there, Mullins.
He's been great today at the back for the Newcastle team. Mullins tried very hard, cleaned up a lot of stuff. He can certainly hold his head high.
Newcastle now, it's the second tackle, 20 out from their own line. Come to the left. Made it up over the 30. Hayes in the dummy half, looking for a penalty. And gets one. Lee throws, they were too long in the tackle on him. Hayes was begging for the penalty and they've got one. Newcastle will kick for touch here with Jed Cooper. We'll find touch just over the other side of halfway. Not long to go in this one, 44-12. Newcastle will look to finish on a strong note here. Tried really do their confidence a lot of good. They go through Jason Smith. Another slow play the ball. Hayes in a dummy half for a party now. Up to the 30. They've done very well today, the North Coast, at slowing the play the ball down. Numbers in the tackle. They come through Cooper now. Cooper out to Smith. The ball's been batted down. Luke Beaumont came rushing in. Got a hand of the ball, so Newcastle will have the scrum feed. 35 out from the North Coast line. Let's see if they can put a play on here from this scrum. Well, the rain stayed away, Tim, and it looks as though the wind might have died down as well, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look to be as chilly outside anymore. But Luke Beaumont's had a big 5 minutes. He scored a try and he's just saved one there as well. So he's finishing the game off strongly, the winger.
Newcastle win the scrum. They go the short side. It's Curtis Langdon out there. Hayes in the dummy half. Here's the meter eater. Big Dan Melmouth. Up to the 20. Hayes in a dummy half again. They come to Zach Ansell. 12 metres out. Opportunity here for Newcastle to put some points on. Hayes goes himself. Used Smith as a bit of a decoy. Smith comes back to the open side now. Comes to Smith. Out to Cooper. Out the back to Mullins. Oh, Mullins juggles and can't hold on to it, and Blair comes up with it. Yeah, he's not happy with himself, Mullins. He's been good today for Newcastle. That little blight on his game, I wouldn't worry about that too much. He's been very good for them at the back. This is the North Coast now. Work it out through Hugan. He makes it up to the 30. And Roberts with another run. Those two boys we mentioned earlier, they've got through a load of work today for the North Coast team. Wilbo gets out of dummy half and kicks long. It's a nice kick, finds the grass. One bounce and Mullins comes and retrieves it. Skips to his left. That's a good kick chase from the North Coast. They're still playing right on the final whistle, Tim.
Yeah, they look very polished outfit today on North Coast. And look, Newcastle shouldn't be too disheartened. They're a pretty good team, North Coast, by the look of it.
Newcastle up to their 30 now. That's Langdon with the run. Nice offload. And another nice offload. And Hayes is through. Hayes in the fullback to beat. That's a good tackle by the fullback. Dean Mills has moved to fullback, it looks like, as they shift the ball to the left. Jason Smith, he does well to hold it there, Smith. Straightens up the play. Comes back centre field, 15 out from the line. Boston Smith calling the shots. There's 6 to go here for the Knights, the Newcastle team. Cooper Smith, this will be the last play of the game. He's shifted to the wing. He deserves a try, this young boy. And he's over Oscar Muir. Got through a ton of work today, Oscar Muir, and he deserves that try. And we spoke about Newcastle finishing on a good note, Tim, and they've gone over.
Yeah, look, Oscar Muir, he's been brilliant today. There hasn't been a set, I don't think, where they've come out of their own half or he hasn't had a hit up. Been very impressive, high workload, and deserves that try very well.
Well, that takes the scoreline to 44-16. You might have heard the full-time siren in the background, so Newcastle will have a kick to add the extras, but it won't mean much in the end. And they are a pretty good game of footy today. Newcastle probably a couple of errors in the first half and a couple of penalties with the ball has cost them dearly, Tim.
Yeah, North Coast have been, like I said before, a very polished outfit. They've rolled through the middle, and I just think Newcastle just couldn't handle their forward pack. They were very dominant today.
Yeah, we've spoken about the North Coast forwards, especially those boys off the bench, Roberts and Hugan. They've been outstanding. It looks like Leaf Rhodes will line up to take this kick. The score's 44-16 at the moment. He'll look to add the extras. There must be a trend going around the left-footed kickers, Timo. There's another one.
Yeah, I think nearly everyone we've seen today has kicked left foot. They seem to kick him a bit sweeter than the old right footer, so hopefully for him he swings this over the black dot.
Well, they'll take a bit of confidence from that Newcastle. They scored the last try. They've been competitive in the second half especially. As Rhodes moves in, strikes it well, just drifts to the left of the upright. So the full time here at Maitland Sportsman number 1 with the North Coast defeating Newcastle 44-16. Big thank you to Tim for joining me today in commentary.
Yeah, thanks mate. It's been a great day for football, and thank you all for joining our broadcast.
A big thank you to SLE, Worldwide, Victor Sports and Bar TV for streaming this one live. This is Dan signing out.
Very much appreciated. Congratulations, both teams.